All right, fellas. Welcome to episode 6 of the Garmoth Grindcast. Hello, I'm your host, Blank Mega, and my co-host here, Ethan, Frogginger12. Say hello.
Hi.
Hello. And for today's episode, we have a special guest, Mr. LvYeti. Welcome in. Introduce yourself.
What's up, baby? Yeah, I'm LvYeti. Hi, I'm a content creator for Black Desert Online, and I play two classes exclusively. I play Mawa and I play Mystic, and I stream many hours
Exclusively,
when I do
it's
stream.
crazy.
Exclusively is insane.
We're not lying on this podcast. There's a no lie rule on this podcast, actually.
Oh, you said introduction, and I was only speaking truth.
Oh. Okay, let's go with that.
I'd lie every episode.
That's terrible. Why would you lie to us?
It's a test. I don't know. Maybe you guys don't catch it.
The only thing you're not
Source
catching
true.
is your Gears of War game. Anyways,
Okay. Well, that's...
yeah. For anyone who doesn't know who I
That's
am, my name is Blank Mega. I am a BDO ambassador. I started playing BDO since 2017. I specialize in PvE content. I also do PvP on the side. I'm currently a 765 gear score Suck Ninja. I used to be a Suck Lon, and I also tag Archer for War.
Oh, yeah, that's my cue.
That's your cue.
Yo, hi. I'm FrogEnjoyer12, also known as Ethan. They'll call me that sometimes. I've been playing Black Desert Online since 2023 around, what was it? Like August? I don't know. August, October, something like that. I am a 721 gear score, Suck Zerker. I currently have a Suck Dosa tagged, but I would consider my tag to be Suck Guardian. I mainly do PvE. I do not dabble in PvP pretty much at all. And I just like grinding and hitting mobs.
Awesome, man.
Man,
When did you start?
I feel like there's nerves.
There's nerds. What do you mean?
Nerves.
Oh, nerves? I mean, yeah, we haven't done this in a bit, man. It's been a hot bit.
Yeah.
Yeti, when did you start playing BDO? What's your history on that?
Oh man, my history's actually kind of inconsistent playing BDO, to be honest. I first started Black Desert Online whenever I want to say 2017 around there is kind of when it was getting a lot of more attention, because that's when around the time when Summit 1G and Shroud and a lot of the big name creators kind of discovered the game, I guess. They came into it. So I want to say 2016 between 2017. I actually made a character there with a group of friends at the time. I don't really talk to any of them now other than Cherney. Cherney was there when we first started. And I actually made a DK as my first ever class.
Oh, me too.
And I actually had no idea. I had no idea that you would grind in this game for the longest time. I probably had 200 hours in Black Desert Online before knowing that grinding was a thing. All my friends did is that we would just go out and kill mobs that we could kill for just fun. And then we would just have the boss timer up on the website, and we would just go to field bosses and world bosses all day, every day. That's all we did playing the game.
Yeah, the OG way of playing. Yep.
That's all we did. And so
back,
that was kind of my journey with it. I then realized I didn't like the Awakening DK because there was no succession then. It felt clunky to me, and then that's when I made my Mystic. And I kind of played and stuck with the game for a couple months, took a break, and then came back in around 2019, and that's I want to say that's when I actually started to have my first little bit of a journey. I started working towards my potion pots and stuff like that. I started making the little gains here and there. Probably got around 650 gear score, I want to say. Put a little bit of time in, and I originally did try to stream the game when I came into the game. Unfortunately, I got bullied out of the community.
Oh no.
So that's why I left. When I came back and I was having a good time, I was like, I'm going to start streaming this game, because at the time I was still streaming Overwatch a lot. It was Overwatch and Rocket League. So when I tried streaming the game, I had this Kunoichi and I had this ninja player that basically would like stream snipe my streams. It didn't matter where I went. It didn't matter if I hid my map. It didn't matter what I did. They would follow me everywhere and they would just kill me constantly and
Mm.
That's
constantly.
crazy.
And I mean, this went on.
That's
for-
harassment.
Yeah, no, this went on for like a full week, dude. Like it was every day that I went live. They would just bother me, and to the point where like I felt like I couldn't play the game anymore. Like it didn't matter. And the reason why they did it was because they insisted that they were not gonna stop unless I admitted that I was their bitch. And I stand on business, bro. I'll
On
leave.
business?
Like I'll go somewhere else, dog. Like I'm not. I'm. Oh, sorry. I also curse. So I'm not gonna
Don't worry about it.
I'm not gonna like do that. Like that's just so like degrading.
Yeah,
So
no,
I was
for
just like,
sure.
all right, cool. Like the community here is not dope. I'm just gonna like leave, and so I did. And then now I'm here, and I came back in 2024, because of Neon. Neon's actually the reason why I came back. He's like, Yeti, you got to play BDO.
Shout out to Neon.
Like it's actually pretty good right now, and now I'm a creator for BDO. That just
Yeah.
I things just kind of clicked. I streamed it for a week, and all I was bullied, and like I had like no viewers because I was an Overwatch streamer, and now I feel very welcomed, and things are doing like really really good. So that's my history of BDO.
Yeah, I think the Twitch scene has, for BDO specifically, ever since we had drops enabled permanently on Twitch, for BDO Twitch, right? I think that's when the Twitch scene really took off for a lot of people. Because back then in 2018, we didn't have that, so it was just kind of like whoever wanted to stream it, streamed it. But now that like we have a lot more support from PA for streamers, it's been like a whole different change of pace of streaming BDO. So I'm glad that it's been better now, and I'm glad that you're back to streaming BDO ever since you got bullied.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what a crazy time though. Like seriously, like I genuinely like I don't know. I was having fun with the game with my friends, but like it felt like I could only play it off stream,
I
and
feel
like
that.
that really killed that for me. You know.
Mhm.
Speaking about bullying, I have a bit of a story.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't know that you could get flagged up on early into BDO, and I would train my horses in places. And one day while I was training my horses, I popped a bunch of buffs. I was killed. And it didn't really make sense to me. I was like, dang, this is crazy. Come to learn 11 months later that it was my own friends that knocked me off of my horse while my buffs were going, and then I was murdered by somebody because I was just standing there out in the middle of the
It was
road.
so funny. If you're here, Jason, shout out to Jason. Jason decided to knock him off of his horse, but that was it. We didn't plan to do anything else, or yeah. But he wakes up the next day and he was dead by a different person. So we had the perfect scapegoat to say that it wasn't us, and it was the funniest thing ever. For
I was
11
traumatized.
months.
I never did horses again outside of Safe Zone. They were like LV around. I didn't grind horses for months. That was crazy.
It was so funny. You guys ready to grind? I'm ready to grind.
I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm here. Where are you guys
Yeah.
grinding?
I'm already grinding.
Oh,
We didn't. Okay.
Actually, I just started.
Okay, well, where we grinding, fellas? We're grinding. Let's go around the room. Yeti?
I am currently grinding at some trolls right now.
Trolls. LvYeti
That is
trolls?
where I'm
Awesome.
grinding.
I love trolls.
you look like a troll.
Oh.
I'm
Alright.
grinding at Highlands on Serendia 4. The server Serendia 4. Yep.
It means Arsha, guys.
Okay.
And, I don't know. I'm grinding at City of Dead, once again, grinding for my telescope piece. It is pain, but we're still here.
Yeah, I've heard that's miserable.
Yeah, it's something.
Dude, I swear you've been here for a year plus.
I have. I've been. This is like my anniversary. I'm not gonna lie. It's crazy.
Yeah, every time I've ever tuned into a blank stream, he's just in this desert.
It's,
Dude, yeah, no.
no, I just really love City, guys.
I tried City. I can't imagine being stuck there. Holy. Happy anniversary, says chat. Oh my.
With that being said, let's pop our buffs here. I urge you guys to grind with us for these 2 hours. We'll be doing 2 hours of this grindcast today, also. And The buff list you should be popping is on the right side of the screen. If you guys are auditory listeners, it is the food buff. Make sure you pop Church in your villa. A draft, whether it's a Harmony draft or a Frenzy. A perfume if you need it for any high-end spots. Your Velvet Heart, and your furniture buff if you're also grinding like a high-end spot like Darkseekers. So we're gonna do another 2 hour. We're gonna do our 2 hours here, and we're gonna be talking about the state of the game a little bit. We're gonna be talking about the new dungeon that came out recently, this past today actually, and some other dungeon-related content. We're gonna be talking about the hardcore server that came out a few weeks ago, and our opinions on it. And overall, the state of the game with the party spots and group content, and the anniversary event going on right now too. So we have a good amount to talk about these 2 hours. Buckle up, guys. So let's get it started.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if you mentioned it. Did you mention Agris?
Oh, you know what? If you got pop your Agris, pop your Agris. Good catch.
Yeah. I'm a bit of an Agris fiend.
Yeah? Like how much a fiend? Like a big fiend?
I was so sapped for it during my 1 mil trash. It was miserable. Holy,
Take it for
I
granted
hated
when you
it.
don't have it, right? Or you do have it, you take it for granted. But when you're out of it, you're like, man, I wish I had Agris, huh?
Yep.
It is kind of impactful. Like there are times I'm like, man, I really need this. And I also never know when to like use an Agris coin. I'm like always hesitating when to use that.
You can use a Trolls. Trolls is really good. Or you can save for Olins. Really good out of those spots. Man, I haven't grinded City of Dead for like maybe a week or so, and it's good to be back. It's good to be back.
Good to be back.
Yeah,
The
it's
weekly
good to be
lockdown
back.
at City of the Dead.
Yeah, I think I'm around 530 or so hours into the city piece alone. This makes it look like it's better than Elton. Not gonna lie.
I've never been.
I'm surprised you got Elton so fast.
I did not get it fast. I had so much hours at Elton.
How many hours?
Over 500.
Yeah, that seems like pretty fast compared to some other people I know.
True. Rest in peace,
Mr.
Carl.
2200 hours.
Yeah. Rest in peace. Have you guys done the new dungeon? Or not new dungeon. Have you guys done dungeon runs recently?
Yes, I actually did it just recently. I want to say the very beginning of the week. I did it with Zero Hunter and his group. It was very fun.
How'd that go? Did any slip-ups happen by chance?
Oh, I got carried. Like, you have no idea. I got carried. Like, so bad. Like, you're talking like Zero Hunter, Chris. Like, you're talking like some geared people, man. Like, I also like have only done Ataraxian like one singular time, and I didn't know anything that was happening. I was just for the ride, and boy, was that the freest silver I've ever made.
What's your take on dungeons for someone who hasn't like really done it?
I think they're okay. I don't think they're a bad experience. I think there's something that's kind of like an afterthought. You know, like when you think about like BDO and you think about like progression, because that's kind of what everyone's thinking about. I think people just think about getting to the grind or doing PvP, like whatever makes really good income.
Yeah.
I think from my perspective as a newer player, like with the dungeon stuff, that type of content seems almost like, oh, I have to go get this done. Like it's a chore, right? Rather than like, ooh, looking forward to my dungeons this week. And that's kind of how it's come off. But I will say, like I've had a good time for both experiences that I've done it. It's not felt tedious like how it comes off or how it's portrayed. But it's pretty okay. I think it's definitely a knowledge check though. I think it's one of those like things where it's like,
100%.
Do you want to spend 4 hours in there for like 1 billion silver, or do you want to go grind for 4 hours and make 5 billion silver or 6 billion? You know, so I think that's how a lot of people look at it.
Yeah, as someone who's played other MMOs and dungeon raids, whatever, being the biggest highlight in those MMOs, one thing I really dislike in those MMOs is the fact that how necessary dungeon raids are, and you have to get a party for it, right? And I understand like a lot of those also have like matchmaking, but you know, I don't always want to matchmake while doing dungeon raids. I want to be able to communicate. I want to calm with my friends or whoever, right? So it's kind of like a idea of like, man, I feel gated by dungeons. But in this game, I feel like dungeon runs are nice because they might not be the best money in the world, but I do like it because it is optional, and it is just group content out there if people want to do it. So I'm glad we have that as an option.
Yeah, I think a lot of people really enjoy collaborated content in games, like where it's like, and that's why people really enjoy Node Wars so much. I think Node Wars, in my opinion, is like 50-50, like PvP, and like the other half being just being able to work in a unison.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people really enjoy that in MMOs, is being able to kind of create something and work together as a team to achieve a goal. And that works the same for people that really just want to do PvE stuff. Like it's the same thing. You just have mechanics and you want to kind of overcome something with a group of people. And I think that's pretty dope.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, I love group collaborative play. I think it's a lot of fun, but I also don't want to be forced, because sometimes I just want to grind, and that's why I like videos so much. But obviously, there's times where I do really want to have that collaborative feeling. Ethan, when was the last time you did dungeons?
I literally did dungeons with you.
Was that the last time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it just reset, no?
Yeah. I actually did dungeons I think 2 days ago. Like, only the last one because they needed a 5th.
What a beast.
Yeah, so I was there for that.
No, but I don't know. Dungeons are sick. I love dungeons and I love the content that it provides. I think I understand the whole perspective of I wish this was more rewarding, but also I feel like you make it too rewarding and it takes away from dungeons as a whole. It makes it something very similar to bosses or like guild bosses, right? A lot of people in my guild don't like guild bosses because it's something that they feel is like a necessity because it makes so much money in so little time, right? Where I'm wasting my time if I don't go do it. I don't want dungeons to turn that into that, but also like I think the content that it does provide is super super cool and it's super fun. I come from Call of Duty Zombies, so any boss fights like the COD boss fights are super super sick. I really fuck with it.
Yeah. I think it's hard to make it right. Like, balancing is super hard, especially in a marketplace that's always evolving, right? Where it's in part to make it so it's worth running in the first place, but also not overtaking the market where it becomes a necessity, right? Right, like if the average quote unquote like silver per hour for in general like activity in this game is like, I don't know, let's say 1.2 bill, and you make dungeons like 2 bill, 3 bill per hour, that makes a necessity. But if you have it, I don't know, like 500 mil, it's like, man, that's not very much. I don't think it's like worth running.
Right.
People don't want to run it, and then when things change, because like marketplace like demos or something change or whatever the case might be, then it changes, and you can't just quickly swap like the dungeon rewards. That's not how that works. So it's hard to really balance that. So I can understand definitely. I think it has to be a little worse than like grinding, but I think at the current state it's good.
I have a pretty firm opinion on this, to be honest. And for me, it's like I see dungeons as a form of content basically almost on par with like grinding, in the sense of like people want to do dungeons not only for like the experience, but there needs to be something for them to gain, right? Like right now I'm grinding trolls, for instance, and I have a whole reason why I'm grinding trolls. Is it exclusively my favorite grind spot? Like, no, I'm not only here because I enjoy the grind. I'm here because it also is kind of like the most efficient grind that I enjoy. Like, out of all my options, this is the most fun place to be, in my opinion. And I feel that is kind of a driving factor for all BDO players. Because you're not going to go, like we joked about earlier, Castle Ruins. Castle Ruins is an active place that you can grind with people. There's actually nothing that says that you can't go to Castle Ruins other than the fact that it makes no money, right? Like, that's what we think about. It makes no money, so therefore it's not worth going.
Yeah.
I think that if you make dungeons to the point where the money is kind of pointless, if you do weigh out, like, okay, well, I could make way more money grinding than trying to complete that dungeon with my friends. I think that will kind of kill it. So
Yeah,
it is kind of
exactly.
like a double-edged sword where it's like it's actually more valuable to make something kind of feel like a necessity than completely make it an afterthought, something that you don't even
Mhm.
like. Why would I go there? Like,
Yeah.
LOL, that's a meme.
Yeah, I would rather have it to be a little too good than a little too bad.
And I'll be honest, like I haven't even done boss rushes. Like I haven't. I've only done 2 on normal, like the group boss stuff where you like work
Mhm.
together with people. I've only done 2 of them.
Oh, that Black Train's so fun. I want to get a
I've
static for Black Train.
yeah, like I need to get a group for it, and like that's something that like everyone tells me that I have to do. Not only because, I mean, I'm basically into it, so everyone talks about how much money it's worth, but it's also a really fun experience with just your homies. It's
Mhm.
something you get to do every week with your homies. So like that sounds great. But to hear that though, to hear that positive like talk is purely because of its benefits, right? Like
Sure.
I don't think anyone would be talking about how important and how worth it is to do boss rushes if the rewards weren't there to carry that weight.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely. Yeah.
it's also dated content. I mean, dungeons have been in the game for years at this point, and I think that the last touch up to loot was they added Debarekas to the pool.
Yeah, that's like the most recent, I think.
Yeah, and I think to an extent, I would want. I don't want to say an exclusive, right? But like, give me a reason why I would want to do dungeons, uh, over going somewhere else. Like, I think exclusive crystals, or maybe putting fuck it, forest furies. I don't know. Put something in there that we need as like a community, that isn't on the market or is super super scarce on the market, that makes people want to go and do that content.
Mm-hmm.
I think even just adding like 10 dawns
Yeah,
would be
I
huge.
yeah,
I think that
if
1
we-
billion dawns would be impactful. I think that'd be dope.
it'd be
I
crazy.
think. Uh,
So-
I can. I'm going to interrupt a little bit here, but I think it's also important to remember that you can't just add dawns to the thing because it wouldn't make sense in the terms of the game, right? Like dawns are originating from Land of War and Light, so why would there be the dawns in Ataraxia, right? Because that makes 0 sense, right? So we can't just add dawns for that reason. But like you said, we can just add. A workaround is being able to add accessories, like enhance accessories, so that can be transferred into dawns, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I understand what you're trying to say. Like, add something that the game needs right now and give it an urge to do it, but something that's not required still.
Yeah, I mean they could even update the reward list that you get from the exchange.
Mhm.
Like we've seen how big the impact is with that just with hardcore right now. Everybody is doing hardcore every day. There's people that are doing it for the game mode to grind that rating and to kind of like make their like a little bit of a name for themselves in hardcore, but everybody is doing the daily, going in there and experiencing that content because how good that money is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that gets
really
people
good money.
familiar with the environment. And I think that if the rewards were updated, for doing the dungeons, I think that would put that on people's minds more for like a rotation. Like, hey guys, don't forget do your dungeons this week. They're worth doing.
I agree.
Big
Yeah.
rewards.
They don't really update the exchange of currency as much, to be honest, as I wish I did.
Yeah.
As I wish they would.
They've done it for seasonal over time. Like they've added some things to seasonal here
Yeah.
and there.
Mm-hmm. But overall, they don't really
So
change
it's
it
definitely
too much.
on the cards.
It's very rare, but yeah, I wish they did update that a little bit more. Because right now, like the memory fragments are really good for dungeons, and that's like the main reason why people run them, for memory fragments. But besides that, it's kind of no real reason to, because the other stuff is like really RNG based, like the accessories you get RNG based, so it's a little bad. But I mean, if you have a group that knows what it's doing, you can get it done pretty quickly, so it's not too bad once you get to that point.
Mm-hmm.
I love the mechanics of dungeons. Just overall, I know a lot of people will sit there and they'll just wipe over and over and over, and then be like, "Oh, this is just bad, right? Bad design." I love, like, once you sit down and you read the mechanics and you learn it, being able to run through it is super satisfying, and it's
Mm-hmm.
super rewarding to just first take all of the bosses because you know the mechanics and your team is well coordinated.
Yeah, you need that sense of like teamwork is like really nice and understanding. Kind of like you solve the puzzle almost, right? That kind of feeling.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You want that self of accomplishment too, of being able to work with people rather than just like, all right, guys, let's just go one tap everything and get out really quickly. You know,
Mhm.
you're not really creating memories or trying to kind of bond to make things work.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the trauma that the serpent brings me
The
is
second
just
dungeon.
joy.
How do you like the second dungeon,
Holy-
Yeti? How was that one?
Oh, that's the one where it like keeps squeezing the pole in the middle, right?
Yeah, the vacuum.
Yeah, that one was a doozy. I was on floor POV the entire time that they were doing that, so I could definitely say that if it was multiple copies of me, that was going to be a long prog night. I'm just going to go and put that out there.
Yeah, usually we can carry
Because
one person.
we died 3 times, and I was on the ground all of the attempts.
Yeah, for sure. Like carrying one person. If you have a group, that board that knows what they're doing, and carrying one person is like doable. But like having like 2 or 3 gets a little hard because you gotta juggle like revives and all that stuff. And there are times where you need everyone alive. Like you can't just have like them on the ground. So you have to like work with them.
Oh, and the fish.
Yeah, the fish step. Yeah, the fish step or the sometimes the color step. You don't need. I guess you don't need it for that. Or like the tombstone step. You need people for that.
I was talking about the exploding fish that spawn when the orbs touch them.
Oh yeah.
I love the fish, man. Those are good.
Yeah, awesome. Have you guys seen any gameplay of the new dungeon by chance?
No, not at all. Not at all. I think I saw someone going towards the entrance of it, but I have not seen anything on the new dungeon at all. Are the rewards updated to more modern things, or is it kind of still in the same pool?
So the final boss, if I've read the patch notes correctly, the final boss isn't out yet. It comes out next week. But the storyline and the quest is out, so you can do that prior to it, and the grind spot is out, where you can grind in it as an actual grind spot. That's all out.
Okay.
It is the highest grind spot in
What
the
are the
game.
benefits of that grind spot?
It drops Devo belt and earring, right? I think.
Yeah, double belt and earring.
Yeah.
Oh,
Belt
that's
and earrings.
crazy. 2 accessories, huh?
Yep, and it drops this new material called Gems of Void. I think it's on the market right now. You can actually see it. And those are used to make the new Ockrats and new Destructions, which give you 2 AP each, or 2 monster AP each. So if you have all 4 of those, you get a total of extra 8 AP, which is actually really big in this kind of meta, where we need a lot of monster AP.
Okay. Do you think these new crystals are like BIS? Like,
They're
would you
BIS.
say that
They're
like
BIS,
this is they're BIS for sure?
Yeah, because
Okay.
the previous one is BIS currently, and they are built off of that, so it's like more BIS, I guess.
Gigabits.
Yeah.
Okay. I definitely have more questions about this dungeon, but or the grind spot in particular. But I'll wait until we start talking about that specifically, since I know we're talking about the actual dungeon itself.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's I think it's super sick that we have a grind spot in the dungeon. It makes the dungeon feel a little more alive and more like talked about, I guess. Because maybe that's a way, that could be a little gateway of like maybe we should just do the dungeon, instead of just grinding there.
Yeah.
And
That
I
does lay a
hopefully-
question though. Does that make it more so like isolated? Like, because dungeons are for your group specifically. Does that mean you could still see other players in this, or is it more so like a Marnie's realm, like you're by yourself?
I believe it's not a Marnie's realm. I believe it is just a section of the dungeon where you can grind at. I
Okay.
don't think it interferes with the actual dungeon path. I guess. Yeah.
Got you. Because that's what I was thinking. I was like, well, the other dungeons, you kind of like, you go and you walk in and you take like a portal and now you're kind of like in your own instance. So I was like, is this like an individual instance room? Or could I just like go to the open area like I could anywhere else? And
I believe you can just.
players?
I'm not too sure on this. I haven't like watched too much of it, but what I've seen is I believe you can just walk there and get there yourself. It's only in the LvYeti realm, so if you're doing the normal version of it, you won't be able to grind there. Only LvYeti.
Got you. That's dope. That's pretty cool. I like stuff like that. I actually am a big fan of utilizing LvYeti more. I think LvYeti is super cool.
Yeah, the
You know,
reason why. Oh yeah, sorry.
I was gonna say I just looked at the grind spot. It is 790 recommended gear score.
Yeah, it's really high. You need more than
Wait, that's insane.
you need more than 10 armors. The recommended
It is-
DP is more than 10 armors, which is
Yeah, it is recommended 350, 440. That is insane.
yeah, it's the hardest spot in the game. Pig was the hardest spot. It is no longer the hardest spot.
Do you guys like the direction they're going with making more and more like harder? Like I don't know, like if in my opinion, being someone that feels like they're like I'm like really chasing gear score, like I'm really behind like these people that are like 780, plus. I'm like, do you guys like the idea of like all the new grind spots coming out, or just like out of reach? Because that's how it feels like for me. I'm like, how many people can actually experience this?
A decent amount. So the issue is like, well, yeah, we can't really grind it very well. We can still benefit from the crystal or from the grind spot because of the crystals, right? So people who do grind it will help us get to that spot faster because of the crystals, right?
Right.
And it also gives hardcore or hard cap players a reason to actually grind there because one, they need the crystals too, and two, there's a new grind spot that's really good for them, right? And I think it's good because a lot of hard cap players or quote unquote hard cap players, their issue is there's nothing to grind for them. There's no reason to grind.
Right.
And if you don't add any crystals or any new gear or anything to get besides money, is no point. There's no point for them to grind that.
Yeah.
So hiding.
I guess the
long
way I
as
see
new
it is I
crystals
think. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I just completely yapped.
Oh, you're good. You're good. Yeah, but like the fact that there is new crystals, I think that's the redeeming factor that it is good. If there was no new crystals, no new gear, no new nothing, like no new license or anything like that, wasn't there, there would be no point, and that'd be a pointless grind spot.
Okay. But see, I'm a firm believer of like I really like what they did with Honglum. They released new grind spots where like Dokkaebi Forest and Honglum are essentially the same spot. Like they're kind of the same exact thing.
They're pretty much the same thing.
They give like the same drops, but one is accessible to geared people and one is accessible to people that like I would say like are like on their way to becoming geared, right? Like you can't do it immediately out of season.
It's like interesting mid game, yeah.
Yeah, but like I think that like if we release new spots, like the new spots in LvYeti, right? So like why is there not a spot out of LvYeti that people that like are 730 can go to, like maybe it doesn't have the exact drops or maybe it does, but on different rates. But I think that type of stuff would even be cool too.
So having a non-LvYeti version would be nice in your opinion?
Yeah, I think with every like end game grind spot, you should give the people that are trying to get to that area also something to grind as well.
I think
because right now people are permanently at Honglum, and until literally until they get to 790, which is like crazy to think about.
Yeah, Honglum is a different issue in itself, but I do know that they're adding more grind spots to the other dungeons. Because this is not the only dungeon that will have the grind spot. The first 3 dungeons will also have their own respective grind spots. So I believe those will be easier grind spots compared to the last one. Because the last one is the hardest dungeon, naturally.
Right, and I could see that. That'd be cool.
Yeah, so I think that might be your solution to that concern.
I think it's also scary because of how Honglum is. How a lot of geared players that need Dons, before Pig came out, opted to go to Honglum over Dokkaebi most of the time. Because overall they were making more money being able to like literally just nuke it. Like the amount of money being made off of people that were like 780, 790 gear score was they were making 60,000 trash an hour, and that's insane. That's double Garmoth average. And that's absolutely like bonkers.
But see, that's a problem where like they need to like increase. Like if you're putting in more effort, you should be getting more rewards. Like just point blank. Like that's how I see it. Like if you're in a place where you could die and it's like harder, the reward should just be larger.
Yeah, it's just for a lot of players. I mean, the sense of security and the confirmed, I get this much from Honglum was outweighing Dokkaebi, which I think was backwards, and I don't think that they wanted to do that again.
Yeah,
by adding something like a 730 gear score spot that 800 gear score players go to, and they just make billions upon billions.
Yeah, exactly.
But if they just make the spot that was intended for those players like better, like if they could make more silver there, if the drops were a little bit better there, like they're like the problem between those two spots is that they're pretty much identical except the effort, right?
Yeah.
Like the effort is a big difference. But I think that like if you're gonna make two spots similar, there needs to be a higher reward for the effort at the other spot. You can't have them. You can't have them almost identical. I just feel like that just does not work.
I also think it feels bad, right? Like let's say like we use Dokkaebi and Honglin as an example, right? They dropped the exact same thing. In a sense of like, well, I believe Dokkaebi actually has better drop rates. It's way more easier and safer to go to Honglin. So why would you go to Dokkaebi if you can go there, right? In that kind of sense of like safety.
Mm-hmm.
And the charm of going to Dokkaebi is no longer there because of the fact that it's the same drops at Honglin, right? If we had, let's say, a easier version of the new grind spot, the Orzekia, I think it's called, the new grind spot that has the same drops but lowered like chances, lowers money. Why would you do the main one when you can get better like safety and not a chance to die and break crystals when you can do the easier one that has the same drops, right? So I think having it specifically only meant for the hard place to drop it is better in my opinion, because if you have an easier version, people can optimize it easier, people can run numbers on it easier, and more people can have access to it, therefore flooding the market and making it less value for everyone else.
Yeah.
In a case where it's not like Essence of Dawn, because Essence of Dawn being a crap ton, these are just crystals, right? And these are not like crazy, like insanely OP crystals. They're just Bis, right? They're slightly better than the current Bis crystals, so they are Bis, but they're not like game breaking. You know what that means?
Mm-hmm.
So having it overflow the market would make a nerf to both spots if both spots dropped it. If the easier version dropped it, it would nerf their money, and the harder people getting it would be like, hey, I have all this gear and I'm grinding this hard spot that can kill me in 2 seconds. Why am I grinding here when I can grind an easier spot and still get the same drops? Albeit maybe a less lower rate. So I think having it exclusive to the hard spot is important. I think that's a mistake they did with Dokkaebi and Honglin. However, in those cases, the Dawns are so necessary in the market that it didn't go crazy with that effect of the market.
They could have even like doubled the amount that you get. Like I think on average it's like what 3 crystals maybe at Honglin, maybe, right? Like maybe I think it's probably more realistic like 2 crystals an hour. If you did really really good, you could probably get like 3 or 4 on like a bang an hour. But I think if Dokkaebi was like the average was like 5 and a good hour was like 7 or something like that, then I think that people would weigh their cost out. It's like, okay, well, it already takes forever to kind of get an order up on crystals. If I could just go to a place where I'm getting like 7 an hour, that's 700 mil. So if you're only making like 800 mil there, but you're getting 700 mil worth of crystals, obviously you're not selling it, but they're already annoying to get. Like I think that's like where the value could be at too, just increasing the amount of average crystals you get.
Yeah, I wish
look at how like Crescents did. Crescent Dekia when it came out was like really really good because everyone was wanting to get Debos. Right, but the drop rate of the rings there were just so good that like you were gonna go there.
I think the pig kind of satisfied, where it like drops double.
Right, pig is amazing, but that gear score though.
Yeah, but that's the whole point. Like we said, right? Like you need to have that gear score to get the crazy amounts. Like those people going to pig aren't going to Dokkaebi or Honglin, right? It's like Dokkaebi feels like the awkward middle child.
Valid. They need to find a good sweet spot there.
I don't know if I may be wrong on this, right? I believe that's a problem that is going on with Dark Seekers and Highlands in I think it's SEA, where there's literally 200 flames of a tour min listed, and they do not sell on SEA because there are so many people grinding.
That's like a lot of grinders.
Yeah, there's so many people grinding at Dark Seekers that Highlands just is not worth because none of the drops drop. So there literally is no reason to go to the lesser spot. You either go to the higher spot and make 0 money at all because none of the drops sell and you only get trash, or you don't grind either of them and the spots are just kind of useless.
Yeah.
Which
that's the awkward part.
It's also a thing, and I never look at it from this perspective because I'm just an NA player. But other regions have different markets, and other regions will always react to grind spots differently. And that can affect PA's decisions as well. Which I never really like. I've never had that perspective. Never really thought about that.
It's important, yeah. Because we are actually one of the lowest grinders in all the regions. And like, so after seeing like EU marketplace and like SCA marketplace, I'm like, damn, damn, we don't play the game, do we?
Yeah, like we're like NA is like very invested in like politics and
PvP. We're the
like,
PvP region.
that PvP stuff, right? Like that's like what we like feast over. And the thing is, like, what's weird is like I can't even just say PvP. Like I really think it is like anything that can become political and group based. People in NA are really invested in, because obviously we have AOS, and I think even if AOS's rewards have gotten better, right? But still, there's a lot of people that just don't do AOS, right? Even if I think if AOS's rewards were even incredible, there's a lot of people that still wouldn't do it. They'd still just be doing Node Wars because of how the politics are, and it's just large group intensive. I think a big turnoff for AOS is, especially for ranked, is that it's just like you use solo queue. So there's no real like network with that. No real politics. No real anything. No teams.
Yeah, I do wish it was like a queue for teams and not for teams for this game.
When it comes to AOS, I'm not the highest ranked player. I played a few games with voice comms and interacting with the community. I had slurs thrown at me.
Yep.
So, it's hard to look at the politics scene and just be like, we're the leading PvP server. Like that is it's crazy to me because there's a lot that goes on. I feel like there's a lot more that goes on behind the scenes that other regions don't understand that happens here.
Yeah, 100%.
In the exact same way, like we don't grind at all. Like we're babies compared to them.
Sure.
Our market is stable.
Stable is the wrong word.
Well, they're not able to buy like sell outfit boxes for crons is what I was told, right? Like they vendor everything?
Yeah, EU, well, at least EU. I don't know about SCA, but EU vendors everything because no one whales on
See,
EU.
that is insane to me.
Yeah.
Wait, you guys buy crons from outfits?
Sometimes, yeah.
Well, like, yeah. Well, I mean, the way I get crons is I put an order up for an outfit box and then I break down the crons or break down the outfit for crons. Is that not how you get crons?
I just vendor it.
Yeah. See, like, okay, so I can tell you like the math of it, right? So I had to buy, I needed 957 crons the other day.
Yeah.
Right. And if I was to put an order up for an outfit box is what? 2.1 bill? About 2.1 bill. And that gives me 900 and is it 37 blank?
Something like that. 936.
Yeah.
900
Yeah.
mid-30s, yeah.
That right there is 2.1 bill. If I wanted to vendor the exact same amount of crons, I was spending 2.7 bill.
Yeah, no.
Almost 2.8.
Yeah,
so
outfit
it's about a
is way better.
600 mil loss if you go the outfit route. And that's only if you're putting them on the same like length. If you're like, I need 2,000 crons, your losses are even larger.
Yeah, I just do both.
So, yeah.
That's my answer. I just do both.
I do both if it's small. Like if I'm 300 crons short, I'm not putting up an outfit. You know what I mean? But if I need that 900 now, I mean, it's like, ugh, man, can I afford to just waste 700 mil right now? Like, is that going to affect me?
The way I kind of look at it is convenience versus, like my ability to wait. Because in the time that I can wait, patience. That's the word. Yeah, I don't have that. Yeah, I can take that 600 mil hit every 1,000 crons because I can just grind another hour. While I know a lot of people don't have that luxury. I'm unemployed. I'm the goat. So, I can see the perspective. It's just, I either decide to raw tap or I'm just willing to just buy the vendors. especially because underfoe crons have like luck,
Oh yeah.
like put on. them.
Oh, do they? That's in the. Oh, okay. I didn't.
I
see
was told
patch.
that was actually like a conspiracy theory.
Oh, that's been in the game since like what 2018.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I heard that was a conspiracy theory. So.
So what? Are like pearl
Oh.
boxes dirty crons or something? Like.
No, they're just normal crons. I think just underfoe crons were like he's like sitting there like shining them or something.
Can you shave your head like a cronstone?
I will do a cron. Okay, you know what? I'll do a cronstone cosplay.
Oh my! Wait,
In
okay,
my
like
head.
okay, it's completely off topic, but like how in like anime conventions, people like dress up as like Prima gems from Genshin, and then like because there's a lot of Genshin cosplayers in general, right? And they like love the Prima gems. We should do it for cronstones and contend the next Oasis.
That would be gas.
That would actually be so gas.
I'm the shape of a cron. I'm pretty fat, man. Like I'm the shape of a cronstone, man.
That is insane.
You body paint?
If I come in shirtless, no, definitely not.
Yeah, come in shirtless and just paint your stomach just green, bro, and you're locked in. That's the cosplay.
Maybe that's my way to stardom. Cronstone plays BDO, dude. Oh,
Have you rubbed the cron belly?
Okay, that's no, Shy said
That's
that,
his
man.
thing, dude. He's like, hey, Lou, rub my stomach for good luck, dude.
Oh
that's
my
tinfoil. That's tinfoil on another level.
Yeah, that's
Dude, I just gave you the $1,000,000 cron idea, bro.
oh my god, everything is cronstones now. That's your you know what? I'm expecting that cosplay now.
Wait, Yeti. Okay, wait.
What's
you
up?
talked about tapping a black star, right?
Yep.
This week.
Yep.
Did you pity or did you
Nope.
did it go? Okay. Do
It
you
went.
know what tap it was?
Yeah,
What tap was it?
the 14th.
Oh. Holy moly.
Out of 15 pity, it was the 14th click. And you know what the worst part is? Is that I had a 300 stack that I was just edging, and I was like, guys, listen, I only have one more tap. The probability of it actually going is not gonna go. I was like, I really want this stack to go to 306 really quickly, and it went.
Oh, it went on a 300 stack?
It went on a 300 stack because I wanted to get to 306 so I could save it for my my neck click, and because 306 would have been pretty huge. And I was like, guys, like, think about it, right? The probability that I'm on the last click before a guarantee, and it already failed at 300. I just want to get to 300, like a 306. Like, we're just gonna click it. Like, come on. Like, the odds of this happening on a what was it? It's like I think it was like an 8% chance or something like that. It did, and then it went.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, dude. Now I'm out of 300 stack, but hey, we're up, I guess. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. You know what?
Oh, sorry. What the hecking?
What the heck, man? What the freak?
Yeah, what the hecking, dude? My bad, bro.
You're good.
I've been tapping on the side a black star. Man, I don't know. I don't know how you feel about it. Black star is the worst thing to tap in the game, feeling wise for me.
Really? I don't.
It is
with
just
Really?
so demoralizing.
I have one worse.
I think it's the best thing to have. I don't know, personally.
You want to tap God Eye? Like,
God Ear. Oh,
Okay.
God Ear is demoralizing. That's true.
that is horrible.
Yeah. When I first got into the game and Mega explained to me what that was, I was like, yeah, no, that's just gonna make me quit. Like that seems like it would suck.
See, I didn't listen to Neon when he was telling me. This is gonna be one of those things where he's probably gonna be in the chat and be like, I told him not to do it. But a long time ago when I was still new, do you guys remember when Mariandora gave us the quest line to where like you can convert your Black Star to a God Eye?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and he was telling me for the longest time, that's a trap. Don't do it. It sounds great for the extra 2 AP, but don't do it. I was like, but it's purple. That's 2 AP. And I did it anyways. And I literally for 2 years have had a awakening duo God Eye weapon because I've never been able to enhance it. I've never gotten it up. Like, it's just like, it's been basically holding me back. And then this week I get a Pen Black Star finally. That thing was a trap and he was not lying. And I wish I never did it because now, even though I have it, it's like I look at it and I'm like, this is not worth clicking. It's still cheaper for me to just go buy a pen black star or buy another black star and start clicking it. It
I
is still
think-
cheaper.
I think on release, as someone who did Gaudier on my main hand, that's my first pen black star. On release it made a little bit more sense, but after all the constant updates of the pity being added in the first place, right? Because when Gaudier was here, there was no pity. When pity was added, reduction of pity for Gaudier / Black Star, all that stuff, right? After all those changes and the amount of stacks we get now and all that stuff, and the free pen black stars and free tap black stars we've been getting, now, yes, absolutely, I 100% agree it's a trap. But when released, it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they didn't really
I'm not
update
gonna
the system.
comment on the pity though. Ever since I'm gonna be honest, I think I'm more motivated to play Black Desert Online as a whole because of the pity system. I think it was incredibly demoralizing without it.
Absolutely. I think the pity system kind of resaved the game, I'm not gonna lie.
It's actually incredibly huge because it's not like a handout either. It's still a journey, but it makes the journey at least feel like at least the goal is obtainable.
You see a tangible thing go up, I'll be like, okay,
yes,
you failed, suck, but next time, well, when this reaches up,
Right.
you can get it. I think you want it.
I think Black Star being 15 clicks is appropriate. The amount of money that I invest into clicking that thing is fine. I think 15 is fine. Like I think it's good.
I think it's
a
way
lot
too
of
low.
money. It's a lot of resources that go into it. Like you gotta think though, like we don't even need black stars anymore.
Yeah,
Everything
we do.
is sovereign. And then you gotta think like
Sovereign is 2
even-
black stars, no?
Sovereign is 2 black stars, but you have to think about like how much investment it takes to get that, right? Like if they're gonna continuously progress the game, they can't have new players and early mid-game players stuck months and months and months behind content, because then by the time they get that content's now the old content. It's like an endless drag race. Like you'll never get there. So like
I think the first reduction is
of a pen
fine.
black star from like, well, wasn't the original cost of like a pen black star like 100 something mil? Like wasn't wasn't crazy?
Yeah.
It was
I think the
110.
first reduction was good when they reduced it to 20 for pen, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the second reduction to 15 was, I think, a little overkill.
See, I don't know. I see the way I see it is like I only have one sovereign weapon, and I have one pen black star that was like a journey to click. Like I had some taps on it like over time. It's not like I started from 0 and just started clicking this week. Like I've already had money saved up and things prepared to begin this like clicking journey for it.
Mm-hmm.
And like I still don't have an awakening weapon, but like they're gonna probably add the sub weapon one soon. So like I'm like billions and billions and billions of silver behind people because they already have an awakening sovereign. And then now when the new sub weapon sovereign comes out, I'm now going to be behind a sub weapon and an awakening weapon sovereign. And it's just like, and could you imagine how players feel right now that don't even have their sovereign?
I think the issue is that not the fact that they don't want people to catch up, is the fact that early game feels very, very pointless to play because of the fact that of all of these like lowering and easier to get stuff, right? It's like if imagine if like the journey was like on a line, right, and the end game's on the right, and the left side's like when you join the game. Instead of like being like progressing, like pacing yourself through the line, it becomes too much of a jump to like straight in the middle almost, and then I
can understand
you
that.
get like it's too much acceleration. I think a good amount of acceleration is great, but adding all that like pity reduction twice especially is like a very, very like, okay, then why play the game for this year when I can play next year and they're gonna make it free,
I can understand that. I mean, go. I'll let you go. I was kind of yapping.
You're chilling. I just kind of look at it as, well, the goalpost of early game has changed, right? The floor and the ceiling are different, right?
Yep.
Early game, right, is like I'm just gonna do it from a season perspective. It's season into your armors, and you get your black stars, and then the real introduction to the game, I feel now versus when I like first got into it, instead of it being like, oh, you have to go and tap your armors and everything, you get that all up, along with like your Tet Black Star, your other things. I think it just turned into get the necessities of your pots which you'll use for the rest of forever, and then learning all the other grind spots while getting Kafras for your armors, right? And that, to me, is an ample amount of time for people to learn the game. And I think that giving them a black star or giving them something is going to help propel them in a way that they wouldn't get without it. And a lot of players would be frustrated without it, which is like, I have all these things that I need to get. And, you know, on top of that, now I need to also get a pen black star. Like, that is just a lot.
Yeah, and like you said, like the times are kind of different and the grind has kind of changed. Like when I was coming in and I was like actually starting to grind, I was still grinding like upper Gyphins. Like upper Gyphins was like really, really useful to me. I was grinding at trees. Like trees was like a grind spot. Like now people only go to trees for the forest furies, but before that was like an actual way to make money. Like that was like where I could go. Like there was people going to Star's End. I wasn't strong enough to go to Star's End, but that used to be the place everyone else was at. So like I could understand that. Like I think through generations of the game, there needs to be different paths of like what their early game is. Because I'll be honest, like I as a content creator in the space, I get a lot of new people coming in, and I know a lot of people that are at that HP pot grind. And I've had people coming in even like week 2 now or week 3, still on their potion pot grind, still doing the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm in my head, I'm like, man, I hope that you can get to the point where you can hit Konglum, right? Like Konglum, I think right now is like the first big milestone that people can try to get to, which is like penning all their armor and doing all the basic necessities for AP right now, which is like the free stuff. And then the Jatina is like, I think right now it's a really good progression. You just grind, you get your free stuff, you get your necessities from Jatina, and you get into the point where you're doing your HP pot grind, mana pot grind, and Kafras. Like I think that is way more enjoyable than where I was, because when I started actually doing stuff, it was like that was like the transition period. Like they were just starting to do all that. So I was like in a weird middle child where it's like, okay, so I should just get my free pen black star and go to lower Gyphins now, I guess. You know, I already had my HP pot, mana pot, and then I basically lived at lower Gyphins for like ever.
Yeah, it's weird to see, like, I'm gonna drop a name. You guys may or may not know her. Kathy, right? The perspective, like, difference of when I started the game and Mega sent me to Kratuga for 40 hours versus...
Oh, true. You just unlocked core memory. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, versus, like, her, she just... All she did, she lived at Polly's until she had both of her pots.
Yeah, that's actually a common thing. Someone brought that up yesterday that they're doing that. I was like, you don't want to go to Blood Wolves or whatever? They're like, nope, I'm just going to get all the Artanis. And I'm like, Artanis? What is that?
that to me is insane. Like, it's such a different point of view. Because it's like, you know, my biggest things that I remember from, like, early game, like 600 gear score, like 650, was I did Kratuga, I did, like, a lot of the LvYeti spots. And then I went and I lived at Sakraya. Sakraya underwater was so, like, such a big spot for me.
Yep. And I've never been there, by the way. That's
people
different
don't even
generation.
Go. People just don't live there at all. And I'm just like, bro, like, that was the goated spot for me for so long. I initially got into the game to just grind Centaurs, because Centaurs was broken ass money. Like, and now it's
I've never been to lower, like the underground Sakurai or whatever you just said, because I'm the weird middle child. That was just not a place to go. That was not even worth it by that point.
Like, that's so crazy to me.
Yeah, I think they should do a better job updating the older stuff, because I think that a lot of these stuff can still be viable if they just update it, like, simply put. And they do it every now and then, right? Like the biggest
they did with Thornwood, right? Like Dekia Thornwood.
Well, I'm not talking about like adding a new spot like that. I'm saying like just straight up update the spot, right? Where like back then, the Valencia spot was such bad money, like base one, like Histria, Akhman, Sulfur Mine, Gahaz, whatever, right? They were so bad money, but they updated it where they became aggro spots, and then they also gave them they updated the trash amount, and so it was actually more reflecting to the current standard of money. So it became more, and they added a tennis element to those kind of spots, right? Giving those stuff like that is like really good changes. I would like to see more of that personally, but not just with the grind spots, but with gear too, right? Because we have a lot of outdated gear in this game that we are not using at all,
Yes.
right? And I'm not even
At
talking about
all.
the green weapons. It's crazy to say that the green weapons like Ain is more used than Kazarka. Isn't that crazy?
Right. See, when you guys bring up like Zarka, dude, that is like something that I really vividly remember because I remember I tapped my first ever boss gear was I tapped a Tet Dimtree Spear armor that I got from like the boss. I tapped it to Tet and it was worth like a lot of money at the time. And I actually just sold it because remember, I didn't know anything about grinding. I was like, oh, there's a lot of money. And I sold it for like 14 bill, and that was like a lot. Like that was a lot during the time that thing was out.
Yeah.
And now Dimtree now is a meme because everyone just tells you to go red nose because of the whole Capris situation. So now it's like a completely
They
different.
should just unify
Before
that
it used
now.
to be what like it used to be like evasion or DR. It was build wise.
I think a big thing is like, I think they should keep these obviously items in because they just can't remove it, but make a path that involves them that goes back into endgame. You know, I wish they added a system where you can kind of like how the deck to follow works. I really am a big advocate of the deck to follow system because one, it doesn't give you the free
I think
items,
it's great.
and two, you can only do it once per each thing, and three, it helps you understand the systems of the game a little better as post what do you call it? Postseason. And I think postseason you don't really get besides deck to follow, you don't really get a black star, so that isn't like really ingrained in your head how powerful that could be. And why you should go black star instead of Kazarka. Because why not? There's literally no point, especially because you need especially because of the fact that Pity has only been changed for his black star and nothing for the regular boss armor / weapons. So I don't know why they don't reduce the like Pity for the regular boss weapons and armors, because like look, when we graduate we get the free like Tet armor and the free Tet boss gear, right, with the radiant start box, right? But people who like, let's say people like, there's a lot of people who don't like watch guides. There's a lot of people who don't do any of that kind of like business of like watching other people play or looking up things, and they just kind of play the game for fun, right? They have no clue on why you should go Black Star, right? And they see that like, oh, this is awesome free stuff, I'm gonna use it, and they're gonna start enhancing it, and they enhance it, and they realize that, oh, they messed up. So why are we not like, you know, like why are we not upping those systems? And we should, my opinion, we should be having a system where, let's say you have like a Pan Kazarka, if you cap level to a certain amount or something, you can trade it into Fugar or whatever, and he'll give you a Pen Black Star or something like that to reward the fact that you actually went there.
What is the reward that you get for doing the Magnus? Is it just a chest or is it any pen boss gear?
Any pen boss.
It is
armor.
Any pen boss gear.
Any pen boss gear?
Armor.
Oh, any pen boss armor. Yeah, armor.
Sorry. Okay. See, I thought it was just the chest piece, only because that's what we were always taught is like, hey, if you do Magnus, grab red nosed pen boss armor.
It doesn't matter anymore.
So,
the only reason people say that is because usually the chest piece is your first one to go, but now it's gloves really to get your first one.
Yeah. And now with the new seasonal thing with like the pen armor, like now people literally just get 2 pen boss armors off the rip.
I think that's fine.
It's fine, but I think it's just gonna make like if you look at the market right now, boss armors are like dirt cheap. Except like for I think one of them is actually crazy expensive. I think it is like the glove or the boot. One of them is like actually really expensive versus the other one.
I think it's only that like that right now because it's the panic sell. And this happens every time anything like this happens, like when the Free Pen Black Star came out, it went down to like 40 bill. And then it went back up, right? So I think it's the panic sell for sure. But obviously it's going to impact the market a little bit with the Free Pen armor right now. I think it's okay because I think the biggest hurdle for new players is DP early on. AP is so easy to get up, but DP is so like, you have to do Jotina, you have to get Capras like a lot. And it's so gated, I guess, in a sense. Yeah. Well, AP is just like, you get your free Pen Black Star, your free Tet Black Star.
Well, it kind of puts people in a weird spot because my buddy, Chili, Chili came back to the game with all of his free stuff. He has his Black Stars. He had like a little bit like a small crystal set, but his armors weren't fully pen. Like he only had, I think he only had 1 pen armor, and it was his chest piece, right?
Exactly.
Because that was the Magnus. But the thing is that his DP was too low to go anywhere, but his AP was so high that like everything was one tap, so it was like a really boring grind for him. Like he can't go to certain areas because of how squishy it is. And so the only place he can really go is the pot grind. But it literally kind of burned him out of the game because he was like, I can't go anywhere.
Exactly.
But these mobs just instantly die.
Yeah,
Because
it's
it's
not
pot
fun.
grind. It's
Yeah.
supposed to be like a post, like you do it during season. You can do it with seasonal gear.
Yep, that's do with season gear. I think that's the point I make where I think the DP, the free pen boss armor is okay. I don't think people enjoy the Jatina pen armor. I think it's good to have, but I think people don't really enjoy it, especially for doing multiple pieces, right?
The reform method needs to be as simple as doing the accessory. How you you open a little tab and it tells you all the little resources that you should fill in the tab. Because the amount of times I've had to repeat myself over and over and over on stream on how to like help people do the reform, I'm like, you just gotta go get a YouTube video. But like that sucks. Like it should be so much smoother to do the reform method because it is really confusing. You get a piece of gear and it says you need to reform this by heating all of these things, and then people are like, okay, well, how do I reform something?
I think there's absolute points where it could be definitely more streamlined, but I also think that if you make it a UI, the UI is great. Don't get me wrong, right? But I think if you make it too much UI handholdy, people don't understand how to learn the game of like processing, of like what processing means, what reforming means. So it takes away from that if you do take all those away.
Well, to be fair, we don't really do anything reform wise, like in that style. Like reforming 1 through 5 is I think in my opinion
I'm talking about like
redundant.
I'm talking about like the menus though, like how the menus work and how all that works.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Like that also teaches that, like it's a big part of it, and I think a lot of people don't understand that. But it's very important to the game design, to be honest, that exists. But it should definitely be more streamlined. Like the Achille crystal, that needs to be streamlined. Like that's just stupid. That nothing is learned from there. It's just a way to make it Achille crystal, the last step you need for the pen one.
Yeah, the crystal that you need to get from Jatina with the it's the latent boss armor, like aura exchange, isn't it?
No,
the one that you get from the old moon.
The old moon, yeah, that one. Do we buy like 40 or 60, 80, depending on which one?
That is
the most
unnecessary step.
The only reason that exists is because of the fact that they were like, okay, we don't want people to like continuously do this, so we gotta make it more expensive every single time they do it. And I get the idea behind it, but like that was one, it's outdated. That's an outdated system because they have way better system for that now. And two, it was just an oversight, I guess. I think in the end. Again, this is all ancient content. That's the point.
I don't want to cut you guys off,
Yeah.
but I do want to say we're in the last 3 minutes of our hour. First hour. So, any viewers that want to, just do the 1 hour, you might want to turn off all your stuff, your alchemy stone, your continuous care, etc.
Anyone who is continuing their hour, though, keep them on. We'll be doing another hour of Red Grind Spots and the podcast with Grindcast.
My hour was I got 5 embers.
Dang, 5 embers.
Holy. I don't know. I think it's, I don't want to say it's like charming, but I think it's super unique that everybody, when they play the game, like when they first start, like the things that stick out to them within their first like 100, 200 hours is always going to be different because of either the meta or, what they like and they don't like grinding wise. I think it's super cool.
Yeah,
it really.
I literally call it like you have like new gen and old gen, but like it's almost like every year of BDO is almost a completely new generation of BDO
really is,
players.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Like there's so much that's changing now, but there's also so many old. I call them old heads. Okay, from my perspective, because I'm the middle child. I literally am the middle child. I call you guys old heads that have been around forever, and you guys are always like, well, back in my day, it wasn't that easy. Like, dude, if you're doing that still, bro, you're an old head. Like, you are a BDO old head if you're like Neon. I call him an old head all the time. He's like, oh, boo-hoo, you talk about that now. If you were here back in the day, I'm like, it doesn't matter. I wasn't here back in the day. Like, that does not matter. These are my struggles, and I don't like it, but like, that's the game just changes every year. And like even Kami, he's another member of the community. He just started playing BDO like, I don't know, probably like maybe a month before he found my stream. And he's like, what? I got to get all these Kaphra stones and get all my armors to pen. Like he makes it sound like it's the worst thing in the world, right? And like I'm like, bro, they just gave you
Yeah,
a
it comes
70
full
bill
circle,
weapon for
doesn't
free.
it?
Yeah, it does. Like, no, I get it. Like, I'm kind of like
oh.
the back in my day, but I'm a Black Star handout kid.
You are,
know,
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
Black Star
But see,
Brian.
my experience is basically more privileged than what some people's experience is more, but still, my experience is still more of a struggle than somebody that just started this year. It's literally insane to think about.
Yeah, I think
think
that's
it's,
also it adds, yeah, like I think what Ethan said, it definitely adds to like our journey, and I think it's fun to share like that. So I think it overall like it does create like a positive like memory in a sense. Maybe at negative times, but the memory's still like kind of like a positive feeling.
I think it's creating more PvPers though.
I think so too. Yeah.
I think it really is. I think that like more people now, since they're getting gear a little quicker, feel more excited that they meet the caps for T1 Node Wars and can get more involved in PvP than before. And that's like a real thing that I've noticed. Like it just as a creator, people are already like, well, I want to get into PvP. And I'm like, okay, check your like Node War caps. And there's also AOS. And like people like now that they've been handed so much gear, they have the time to invest into PvP, right? Before it was like you kind of had to pick one or the other, or just find open world PvP, or things would just happen. It's a little different nowadays. It's like now people kind of have been given so much gear that like they have so much downtime, in my opinion.
Yeah, to do other important things like crystals, journals, all the other things that need to happen.
100%. And especially with hardcore right now, you get $1 billion a day. They can invest that money, $1 billion a day, into a full like multiple crystal sets. Like that's just crazy to think about. And then they can just PvP if they want.
Yeah, I think right now we're relaying the foundation of the game to a better future, and I think that's why I'm excited. I think a lot of like doomers don't realize that, but it takes time to create a foundation. You can't put everything up there at once because you have to see how it will fit, how it grows, etc. But
yeah,
I think
I'm like very PMA. I don't try to be, but like I'm having too much fun to just sit here and say negative things.
Yeah, as someone who's been grinding at one spot for like the fucking last year, right? I'm still having a blast grinding a spot. I'm still having fun playing the game because I have my own goals, right? And I can see how PA is working on making the game a little better. They may not make the best changes, obviously, but I think it's gonna be shaping into a better future. At least that's what we can hope. I'd rather sit here and hope rather than doom.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people have had I don't know if you really want to get into this, but because with the time that we have with other topics, but I will say this comment is I think people don't realize that if they're going to sit around and linger around like if you're not having fun, don't play, right? If you're like, it's important to leave your voice. Everyone's voice should be heard, even if it's negative. But if you're constantly just like berating and saying negative things, you're only feeding into a game that is going to end up kind of going in a negative direction. Like it's staying in that direction. Like you need to be heard. You need to say things that are important so that way like change can happen. But if you're just spitting out like nonsense all the time that like is just not productive, then it's just like you're doing more damage than good. Even if your intentions are good, like even if you're just passionate, like you're doing more damage than good.
I think general
because now new players that step into your stream and stuff like that are like, oh, this game's not worth playing. Oh, the game used to be so much better. I bet I'm not gonna play.
I think a lot of people come from a lot of doomers, and as someone as like who has a fair share of like doomers around them. I think the doomers like they're obviously dooming because they're passionate about the game, right? They're super passionate. If they weren't passionate at all, why would they be dooming? Because they would just leave, like, right? If you liked something so much in the past, but now it's like going to a direction you don't like, it makes sense to doom, right? So, I think it's very important to remember that a lot of doomers are coming from a place where it's actually quite very like passionate and the love of the game.
Are we going
really
straight into the second hour, by the way?
Yeah.
Sorry not to cut you off.
We're going straight to second hour.
Okay, bet. Okay, cool. Rebuffing up. Sounds good. I just wanted to make sure.
But yeah, like essentially that's all I'm saying is like I think that this game is reapplying the refoundation of the game currently. I think last year was a lot of that too. I think this year is the second half of it, and I think we're gonna see a lot of progress of the game in the next next like 6 months or so.
Yeah,
So
I'm
excited for
super
that.
excited, and I've been telling even my fiance like that, like, hey, because her biggest thing right now is like, oh, BDO's too like BDO has too much of a time investment for me right now. Like I'm working so much, like it just feels like I have to put in so many hours, and I'm like, you have no idea, like it's so much easier now. Like you right before when she was grinding, she was trying to go for the mana pot HP pot grind, right?
Mhm.
And you would spend like to make any progress, it felt like you had to put like 4 or 5 hours in a day to make any like a dent because of how you get none or 1 or 2 pities an hour. Now it's like 1 hour of polys if you're trying to go for Artemis, or 1 hour at any of the spots because they've all been buffed, is equivalent to that
Yeah,
4 or 5 hours that you're putting in before.
the weekly
Yeah,
thing
the weekly quest,
being
like
available every spot every week instead of one
yeah,
every week. That's really good.
with everything right now, with how fast everything's accelerated, it is like you are good. You like that 4 hours you're putting in, you're getting 1 hour's worth of value now. Like you just go do like you can play the game so much less for so much more. Because I know exactly what she's talking about. Like she gets so burnt out and feel like she was not being rewarded enough. Because what people need to keep playing a game, they need to feel small gains. They need to feel like their time is going somewhere.
Exactly. Yeah.
And she stopped for that reason. It just felt like I don't have enough time, and I feel like my time's not going anywhere in this game. But I'm really happy that they've made all those changes. Even with people like coming right out of HP pot mana pot, they can go to Honglum. Honglum is a spot that makes you feel rewarded. You know that you're getting like the BIS crystals. You're setting up your future. You may not need them now because you don't have any of that stuff, but you know you're setting up your future, and you get to make good money. Because back when I finished my pot piece grind, I was only still able to make 400 mil an hour. Now you can go to Honglum and make 700 mil an hour. That was basically 3 hours worth of my grind before.
I think Holman's a little too powerful, but yeah, I agree with what you were saying. Like how it feels more, your time feels more valued and rewarded for sure. I think one of the next subjects I want to talk about is for this hour. One of the biggest things that did come out in the last week or so, last week or two, is the hardcore server. Have you guys touched upon that or played it yet?
Yes. Would you like me to go, Frog, or do you want to kind of speak on your opinions on it?
I haven't played it.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, I'm down to give my perspective on how the hardcore is, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
wait, can I
go
ask
ahead.
one question before you start?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you play any of the 4 classes that are in the hardcore server? Did you play any of them previous to the hardcore server?
No, not a. The only class that I have actually, well, the only class that I guess there's 2 that I have any like I have the character made. I've done at least a season on is Sork and Ranger. I've done a season on them, but I've never taken Sork to a grind spot.
Okay.
Unless you count like very early days where I went to Centaurs one time, you know, but I'm not, I don't think that really counts, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But no, I have no PvP experience on these classes. I don't play any of the classes. I have no time investment on these classes. So that is already kind of a big, like, I don't want to say it's a big turnoff for me because I'm also very okay with going in blind with something. But it's the double-edged sword of I'm going in blind, but somebody's going in with 7,000 hours on a Zerker. So that's where it doesn't feel very haha hee hee. Like that's not okay. But do you have anything else you want to ask though, Frog, before I kind of go on like my feelings on the
No, I just wanted to do that because there's a lot of players that have had that I've gotten kind of split reactions to it. Where there's players that are like, oh yeah, I have 15,000 hours on a Zerker. I'm living my life up right now with the AP buff.
Yeah.
And then other people that are just like, I don't know how to play Sork. I get blue armor and then one tapped, you know? So,
Yep.
You know,
it's
I just wanted to ask.
It's a very real thing. My opinion on hardcore is probably, I don't want to say my opinion's very different from any other players, to be honest. I think a lot of people are kind of on the same page right now where they're kind of I think hardcore right now is kind of the one thing that you were saying you wanted to run away from in terms of dungeons. You don't want it to be something people just go into for the reward. But that is exactly what it is. I don't think anyone's actually playing hardcore because they like it.
Yeah.
I think there are some people that are interested in like the leaderboards. Like some people think that concept is fun, but in the grand scheme of the population of the game, everybody's going in there for that 1 bill a day. There's even YouTube videos out like right now. Hey, do hardcore for 15 minutes and you get 1 billion. And people are going to be like, okay, 15 minutes is all I have to put into this. I will do just that. Right? And that creates an issue for the quality of the game mode. Most people, even from my experience, I've went in there probably about 6 days now. I want to say I put 6 days in. I even had the opportunity to do a time slot for PA. I actually did a stream with a little in-game announcement that I was going to be streaming my time there. And not a lot of people are really fighting. It doesn't really feel hardcore. It just feels like I go in there and I kill some mobs and I kind of get out.
Kind of feels like an Arsha server.
It does. It does feel like an Arsha server, where people are kind of there for the drop rate, right? It's not. You have the people that really do want to itch for a fight, but I'm gonna be honest. We all know why we all grind on Arsha in the first place. That 50% is too juicy. It is juicy. And I've literally just been auto running. I've finished my quest and I've been auto running and ran past other people auto running. That doesn't give like hardcore scare for my life.
Exactly.
If that makes sense.
I
So,
think,
in my opinion, it's okay.
I think the biggest issue that they've done out of everything they've done about the hardcore server is call it hardcore, because hardcore already has an established definition in, especially the MMO scene, right? Hardcore means one life, right? Almost always in any game. Hardcore, WoW, hardcore. I don't know any other MMOs that have hardcore. To be honest, WoW is the one I know. Do you guys know any other hardcore like MMOs?
I don't even think hardcore is actually a popular thing in the East. Is it? Like, I know hardcore has been a popular
it's an NA thing, yeah, for sure. Or
yeah, so I think that might be the language and like kind of cultural barrier.
It might be
the hardcore is an NA thing for sure.
I think it's definitely a. I don't think it was a lost in translation thing, because the original plans for the hardcore server was to have one life, actually. And then you would fight back. You would fight back in the gulag, right? As I call it, because that's what they basically were making. Where you can 1v1 to get points to reduce your time out, like lockout time.
See, that just sounds awful. Like right now, like I already get kind of annoyed when I go in and someone's just standing at the barrier waiting on me to walk out to go do my daily. Like if I was trying to get my daily reward and I was just like literally just being griefed. And I was stuck in there for like 2 hours. I don't know if the reward would be worth it at that point, right? That goes back to the conversation of like, do you want to sit and do a dungeon for 4 hours because you guys keep failing over and over for 1 bill, or are you going to go grind for that 4 bill, right? So I'm kind of glad they didn't do that, but if they did, it would have to be less griefing opportunities.
Yeah, I'm sure they can like change that. The point I'm trying to make is that they were using that name for that game that the original plan. But because they didn't go with that plan, they still were gonna make something out of it. They kept the name hardcore, and I think that kind of ruined the reputation a lot, because people came in with expectations of, oh, one hardcore is like single life, you know, your life matters kind of deal.
Right.
But in this, it's not hardcore really. It's Tarkov, right? It's an extraction shooter basically at this point. You get loot, you go out, and that's it. And I think that was a big marketing misplay, and I am very surprised that they even let that happen, because that's really important.
I know what they should do. Do you know how like right now you get more tokens for doing the daily, right? Is that the only way to get the tokens for the exchange, is doing the daily, like the 1,500 a day?
No, you get points by your existing points you have contribute towards it too.
Like what? So what you're saying, like you can get more points than just the daily?
Yeah. So when you extract, the points you have, like your rating gives you points based on that.
Okay, so whatever your rating is when you come out is also how much extra points you'll get.
I believe so. Yes. So
Okay.
it incentivizes like getting a
Like-
higher score, so you keep getting more points every single day, kind of deal.
Right. I can see that being more enjoyable. See, I did not know that information. I personally still don't know if that'll make an impact for me, considering I've spent, like I said the other day, in a time slot trying to do well, but like being griefed and whatever. Like it's so hard to even get over 100. So it's like, am I going to spend 2 hours trying to get over 100 just for an extra 100 points, and I can just wait the next day for 1,500?
For people who know how to play the class, this is like, I think you have a way more incentive to actually,
Oh, you're eating.
you're
farming.
to keep getting a higher gear score. But people who don't know how to play the class, they're like, well, I don't want to play class whenever like everyone here knows how to play the class. Everyone, but the majority of the high-end players don't know how to play the class. I don't want to invest time in learning this class. I'm just gonna do daily and get out. Which I think it's good to have that as an option, but that also creates a dynamic of there's only going to be X amount of players because there's no classes available, or the majority of classes are not available. So it creates a lot less PvPers, and like you said, it becomes a daily fest instead of a PvP fest, which it should be. Right? I believe, let's say theoretically, this exact same game mode is out, but instead of 4 characters or 4 classes, all whatever classes, like 28, whatever amount of classes are out. I think we will see a lot more PvP.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And I think that's the intention that they want in the first place. So I think, honestly, I really do like the game mode. I think it's cool. Obviously, they need a lot more tweaks in it and balance changes, but overall, the concept is really nice. I actually do like it. But
Yeah,
they ruined it with the 4 classes. I'll be honest. They ruined it with the 4 classes and being like, yeah, we're only 4 classes around seasons, classes. I'm like, man, he has such a great
I know
thing.
why they're doing it, and it's just not a good idea. They're doing it because they want to make it a seasonal thing based around themes. They want to make it theme based. So this theme right now is the start of BDO. It's the first 4 classes.
Yeah.
And I get it. It's more to be kind of like a sentimental thing. It's like, guys, relive the beginning of BDO with the first 4 classes. Nobody wants to do that.
First 4?
Yeah, they're the first 4.
Yes, they're the first 4 classes. But nobody wants to do that though. People yes, I'm a firm believer that people would really like to kind of have nostalgia. But you have to understand, when a game goes through so much quality of life, no one actually really wants to relive how painful it was after they've been given years and years and years of quality.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
I don't know.
The seasons they've wanted, I think the season they wanted should be more about the environment and not about the character you play. Imagine you're playing League, right? And they do a hardcore thing in League for some reason, but you can only play 2009 champions. I'm like, what? Why would I want to play this game, man?
Why would I do that?
At that point,
people from 2009 have fun then.
Yeah, exactly. And then if they rotate, okay, and then let's say your main is one of those OG people, and then the next season comes around, and then your main's not there. It's okay, well, why would they want to play on it? It's it becomes a cycle of no one wants to play on it, and then because of that, it becomes no one wants to play in general, and then it creates a quote unquote dead space, right? Of no PvPers, when that's whole point of the entire game is the PvP.
There's literally no reason for it to be class locked.
It really shouldn't.
If they wanted it to be hardcore, then it needs to be hardcore. It needs to be everyone is doing their absolute best with their best. That's what hardcore is.
Yeah. You gotta give them the tools.
I shouldn't be going in there getting fucking farmed because I Gwab you 3000 is playing Zerker, and when that's all he does all day every day anyways is play Zerker.
Yep.
Hey man.
The most hardcore thing is trying to not get tilted, bro. That is the experience for me.
So real. But yeah,
as a Zerker player, I think we're pretty weak, man.
What did he say?
Yeah.
Oh, as a Zerker player, I think we're pretty weak. Maybe give us a buff or 2, huh?
Yeah.
We finally got Archer in line.
Anyways, the daily should only be for people who can't actually PvP, and let's say you main this class, but you're just not a PvPer. They should exist for that, and I think that's perfectly fine. Like I said, I think the entire game mode is really good, honestly, except for the class. That's the only change.
Yeah, I agree.
I think a lot of the issues of hardcore will be solved if everyone can play the class.
Not gonna lie though, I think that I have a like I might call this. I hope I don't call this. But if they make the rewards like how the season is, like our current like season pass is, I think it's gonna die in the future. Because right now, the way our current, like when a new season starts, they only up the rewards sometimes by +1 rather than completely refreshing it. So if they only up the rewards by like +1 when a new season starts, I don't feel like anyone's gonna. They'll do it maybe that day to get that like that last one thing they could get, right? But I really hope they don't do that. I really hope the rewards go back to being like fully refreshed.
I think
I think a lot of people have thought about that, but they already have a history of like barely refreshing up the seasonal rewards right now, and that's called a season.
To be fair, I think the season rewards are really good. To be honest,
they're really good.
Yeah.
I just hope that they actually refresh them because, I mean, we all woke up today and we probably already had everything exchanged possible for creating seasonal characters, but we got a +1 increase to like our rewards. I just hope that like when the new season for hardcore starts, that it's not just another +1. I hope that they actually refresh the rewards. I want to be able to get another 5 Debo earrings.
Yeah.
If I can only go into hardcore and get 1 extra Debo earring for the entire season,
absolutely.
I'm not doing it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wait, how do you guys?
Yeah.
How do you get the 1 bill?
The gold bars.
That's.
Oh.
Yeah, you get gold bars, or you can get the Debo accessories and just sell them.
The gold bars are
you
really
technically get like 1.2 for selling earrings.
Yeah, Debo is not 1 bill technically. It's like 800, 900 mil, but it's like really close. And if you have more rating in first place, you can get more gold bars, right? Yeah, I think, like I said, I think the seasons should be like location based rather than like they shouldn't remove your tools. They should give all your tools, but change the environment, and I think that will really define a season better. The one saving grace I have is like they are calling this a is it pre-release? They said, I don't know. They said, but like something related to like a beta, right? Of like pre-release of hardcore. So I think they're understanding the feedback of it.
They gave us an actual fucking. Oh, sorry. They get. Sorry, I'm passionate right now.
You're good.
They gave us an actual sandbox to play in. Like, I don't like it, dude. Like, it feels like when they're like, all right, guys, hardcore BDO, they gave us the actual, like, guys, we're going to create a video game. And we're going to call it Black Death. Like, that's what we were just given, dude. We're given an empty map. No trees, no water, nothing.
Okay, I like the desert. We got it. I think that is cool.
I mean, the desert's cool, but dude, I'm auto running going over sand dunes, and I see a pack of monsters every once in a while. Like, could you imagine hardcore in Kama Sylvia? That'd be so cool.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think they should do like map changes for hardcore instead of like class changes. That's what I'm going to make. I think champions. I think classes that have more mobility would benefit from like the open plains. I think people who have like more stealth-like abilities, more rat, will be benefiting from from trees and stuff like that. So like the environment will shape the meta, honestly, right?
Yeah, I don't really enjoy seeing a Zerker run at me in the Sahara Desert, like in render distance. It's it's terrible, dude.
But yeah, like I don't know, man. It's so crazy.
It's either that or a ranger one taps you off screen.
So real. Suck ranger.
I mean, hear me out. This is coming from a guy who's just watched it. Man, it's really enjoyable to see you guys run around and hit them up sometimes.
I do enjoy doing that, but I 100% understand that they need to have this place should. I think, like I said, like you guys running or us running like back to back, pack to pack, and like having no PvP exists because of the fact that no one wants to play it because their class isn't there, right? Out of how many classes are in the game? Like 20 plus? They're almost 30. The fact that only 4 of it, you're basically alienating. What is that math? Someone do the math for that. Like, I don't know, like 5%, or only letting 5% play?
85%? Or something like that?
You're alienating 85%. We'll make it 80% because people do want to try new classes, right? So we'll let's say 80%. Right. You're alienating 80% of players who would want to play it. And that's crazy to me. And if there wasn't if all classes were there, more people would be playing, the space would be more filled, so it wouldn't just be It wouldn't just be dunes and Sahara Desert, right? And it would actual be fighting. There'd actually be fighting because people would know how to play. People would be more inclined to fight because like, okay, well, I actually know how to play this class because I put my main. Therefore, I will fight.
I got a question. How do you guys know if anybody has experienced the Fortnite event?
No. What is the Fortnite event?
The one where you get if there's enough people close to each other, there's the zone.
The isolated desert.
I have not seen that
Yeah,
actually.
that's the thing.
I've not experienced that. You wanna know why I haven't experienced that? Because I've died too fast to actually make it happen.
Yeah, I don't think that I've heard a single person say that they have seen it happen or had it happen or been.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like a little isolated arena if enough people are in a certain area at the same time. But yeah, I've literally
No, it's
never
not
seen
that.
it happen.
It's not that. I'm gonna correct you there. It's not that.
That's not it? No?
It's when people are too close to it, but they're not fighting. It's to prevent teaming. That's the whole point.
It's to prevent teaming?
Yeah, so like if you're like me and you found each other in the hardcore, and we just like roaming together, it would without hitting each other, we would be considered like teaming, and then that would happen, or theoretically should happen.
I don't know.
But
I feel
also,
like
it
teaming
also
is still
requires a certain
easily
amount
prominent. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
It requires a certain amount of people to be nearby. I know it's not just two. It has to be.
Is there
over-
multiple? Maybe there's multiple ways to proc it. I don't know.
Oh,
I
yeah,
still
no,
think
there's-
teaming is incredibly prominent right now because the only time that like people are generally fighting is like, yes, you have the people that really want to fight, but then there's multiple people that like just fight. Like they'll fight the same pack together and then they'll just like try not to kill each other and keep moving. And I've never seen it happen. Like I walked up to a warrior and a sork smacking a pack. I came up too. I hit the pack. We all went our separate ways.
Yeah, when I get on that server, unlike you guys, I'm swinging on every motherfucker I see.
Yeah, you know
Swear to
why?
God. Because I play Zerker.
Yep. And you guys are the only ones that literally come out of render distance starting a fight. Every other class almost never cares. Like every other class is just there to get in, get out. It's Zerker players. You know what the average player is? Ooh, Sork is hot. Ooh, Ranger's hot. I'll just run around, get my daily on a hot character. And then you have Larry run across the screen just to grab you and then just tear you to pieces and then keep grinding for the next 2 hours.
It's so crazy. And then dude, I've heard stories of players that are like, yeah, I want to learn how to learn this character. I want to PvP. So like they spend the first 2 or 3 days grinding up gear, doing their daily, trying to experiment in the class. And then the day where they actually try to go out and PvP, they just get one tapped by somebody with a human damage AP buff, and then they're just like all their gear is gone.
The
just like,
RNG buff. Let's talk about that too. So they actually did nerf the human damage one by half. So I mean that's a good change, right? So this might be a fire hot take, right? I believe the RNG buffs are good. That's my hot take.
How do you obtain them?
RNG from a pack.
Just grind, like killing a pack.
Yeah.
Oh, you have a buff?
Yep.
How long does that last for?
5 minutes? I forget how much.
I think it's 10.
Yeah.
I believe it's 10.
I think it's 10, yeah.
What makes you like that? Is it the initial like, oh my god, I have a buff, I need to go kill people? Like it's gonna make somebody go out and actually start fighting somebody? Or
so the idea, I'm not gonna talk about numbers here, but the idea of RNG buffs is good. It is the equivalent of finding a gold gun or a blue gun or a purple gun, whatever, in like Apex or some shit, right? And being like, hey, I found a really crazy gun. Let me go, like, actually utilize this and go fight, right? So it creates conflict, which is good for this game, right? That's one reason. 2, for people who aren't as experienced, those buffs will give them a sense of more security of like, okay, maybe I can try something like this, and then it would encourage them to go fight. So it actually is very healthy for the game to have RNG buffs like that, right? But the problem is if you give them the golden gun from Valorant, it's not healthy for the game. Like if it one taps people, why would you not go fight? And then it'll make the other person frustrated, the opposing side, and it just creates a toxic environment of like, okay, well, GG, they have buff, right?
Right. I think that they should have more events. Like
Yeah,
I don't think
that
there's
too.
any like because if we're talking like games like Fortnite or whatever, where you have like you get this nice, cool golden weapon, and it's like a sense of power through RNG. They need to have it to where there needs to be hotspots.
Yeah, I think
There
the
needs to be
bosses are
spots that are
supposed
like-
to be that, but there's not enough.
But they're RNG.
I think also with Fortnite, not so much Apex, right? Because Apex, all guns do the same damage. But like Fortnite, especially, when I see somebody with a mythic on them, I can know, oh, do I want to take this fight? Right? What can I do about it? And I don't think you could do that when they get the random buffs. I
Heck
think
no.
you know,
You take the first shot and you're like, wait, they're strong, dude.
yeah, the second in the desert, I get hit by them and I go, oh, they have human damage, and then I go, oh, I'm dead. Like that was a big thing, and I think if they announced it or if there was an indicator or something to show that this person has this buff and they're looking to do something with it, I should be able to have a form of counterplay rather than just be at a disadvantage because they got lucky, right?
Yeah.
I think that is a big thing for me. Because like I have no inclination, whatever I have no drive to go and play the hardcore server. I play Zerker, sure, but it's like I'd rather just spend my time at Highlands over running around the desert for 2 hours.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like I said before, like you go in for 15 minutes and you guaranteed get two accessories. You can exchange for either 2 Debo earrings, 2 whatevers. Like there's good rewards in there.
Yeah, it's worth to
For
do.
even just what is it like? Some of the rewards in there cost like 5,000, but you only get 1,500 a day. So it's like even if you don't want to do that, you can get like a full-on reroll coupon box or something like that, which is like something that they rarely do. They don't even do stuff like that for people.
You're really familiar with that, huh?
Okay, so okay.
You see it for that, buddy?
Okay, so I feel like that was like slanderous. So like we'll just ignore that and move on, boys. Okay, that's not really on the topic for the day, so I think we should just like
Oh yeah, my bad.
yeah, that might be a little off topic of where we're supposed to go. Okay, I've actually only rerolled like twice
Ooh.
this week.
Cap
Okay,
or fact?
Cap or fact is crazy.
What are you asking for? A community note?
Oh my! Look at the Twitch chat. You're gone, buddy.
Oh.
Sorry.
All good.
I love it. I love shooting people in game,
Huh?
in chat.
Oh.
Somebody was
That's
trying
crazy.
to tell me viewers, man.
Guys, listen, okay. I understand that everyone memes on people that like try out other classes, but I'm somebody that just likes to know why somebody likes something.
I thought we moved.
The only class
thought we
I
moved
don't
out from
care
that topic.
why someone likes it is Zerk players. I understand why you guys like it. You're
I was
weird.
about to say, dude, no, unironically, you have this sense of like power, where it's like, oh,
So
Like,
so
it's like
you're
owning a
green.
truck. It's like little man syndrome.
Oh.
It's like you need to be
No.
you need to be a Zerker.
Oh,
you
I
need to
see
be
that.
big.
That makes
Absolutely not,
sense. That
because
makes sense.
I could play.
Yeah.
I could play an unbalanced class like Archer or Ninja or something
Unbalanced
like that.
class like Archer. That was the first option.
Yeah, Archer's been top three classes in PvP.
Yo,
and
get Cezanne
PvE
on this call right now, dude.
for the past-
Get Cezanne on
for the
this
past-
call
Surprise
right
guest.
now.
Four surprise guest. Yeah.
Holy, wait. There's no. Hold on, wait. Can we clip that, please? Like for the podcast? Because that needs to be forward. That he just said that Archer's been a top 3 class.
for 2 years.
Wait, I'll clip that myself. Sorry, let's continue.
And I just think that for people to hold it against us Zerker players for being tall, handsome, good at the
Yeah,
video
that's
game,
the confusing part.
It's so it's demoralizing to just be the best so much. There's no competition at the top.
Right, yeah, because Archer's taking up too much slots at the top right now.
I mean, yeah. I mean, Cezanne is dominating on 300 ping on EU. It's crazy.
Well, that's because it doesn't matter how far the arrows travel. If they're lagging, they're gonna get there and kill people.
I might agree with Frog. That's a bad. That's a bad take, guys. I'm trying to think. We've covered a lot. We've been yapping, and we still got half an hour left. Is there anything we didn't cover?
Our concluding thoughts hardcore. Let's go around that.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I'll let you guys start. I'll go last.
Yeah, I think
on, final thoughts.
I think the hardcore server is a wonderful idea as a foundation. I think after balance changes and they add all the classes, it would be thriving. I genuinely think it would be thriving if they just add all the classes. The rewards are good, the gameplay is fun, right? Change maps every now and then, change whatever map every now and then, make it fresh, like seasons. And it is one of the best content we will ever have. Straight up.
Yeah, I think it's one of the strongest reward systems we've received too. Like, I think it's awesome.
They just need to add all the classes. That's all I ask for. The work's already done for them.
Cool. I think it's cool. I think the biggest thing for me is, as a non-PvP player, right? It is a very intimidating thing to be like, oh, log into the server, the hardcore server, right? The name is, very definitive in, like, it wants me to go and interact with people in a way where, I have a risk of dying. I would much rather them have put the resources into a different game mode. But for what we have, I mean, I don't think it's bad. I can understand the hate of everybody saying, oh, my class isn't in it. It sucks. But, like, I mean, at the end of the day, like, they gave us content, and I think that the content delivered on what they promised. I think people just wanted a reason to dislike it.
I agree. I honestly, here's the thing though, and this might be a hot take. I 100 billion% believe, I'm a firm believer right now, that the hardcore server is only being played because of the rewards. I think it is one of the best rewards that they've actually given out for something, like the best incentive. And I hope that rewards continue to look this good for the future, because it not only gauges the interest of new players, but it also is piquing the interest of veteran players. And I think once you do that, you have a good system.
We're
like,
so
once everybody
close.
Wants to get it. Once everybody wants to get a taste, dude, like that's when you create something alive. And I think that if they just do that for all content, if all the rewards can be useful to everybody, we would have no problems with content in this game. I think everything would just be so worth playing.
I think we're so close to having an amazing ass game mode. But we just gotta fix some things. And until then, it's not an amazing ass game mode.
Yeah, it's just carried by rewards right now, in my opinion.
Yeah.
With the lack of where it's at.
Yeah, what you guys just said, that's how I feel about Pig. It's perfect. The rewards are so good. They just need to maybe fix it a little bit.
I can't even go to Pig.
Dude, neither can I. But dude, my entire guild, my guild has never been more alive than when they just say Pig has opened. They're so ecstatic.
Yeah,
I
like Pig. I like Pig. I think it's cool.
I think more people grind Pig than show up to my guild boss events. Like, it's crazy.
That's pretty funny. But yeah, I think that's our thoughts on the hardcore server. I think we definitely said our piece. PA, if you're listening, make the classes available. Thank you. I appreciate that.
True.
Wait, can I have content creator too?
No.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna hijack. I want to talk about this because this is something I have been following and I really like it. The anniversary events. Oh my. I love it. I love it so much. 90% drop rate. I'm living it up right now.
Yeah, I am living it up right now.
Oh,
I have so much drop rate, like items to use. I haven't used at all because we've been given so much drop rate items during this event too that I'm just like hoarding it. I'm like, when am I gonna use this all? And then I'm waiting for that event to go away, and then I'm gonna pop them all, And then by the time I finish them, a new drop rate event is gonna happen.
You're definitely gonna use it at City.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I mean, if you get the piece or not is like, it's up in the air.
I actually want to go for my first. I actually never. I mean, I don't know. People kind of exclude the HP pot mana pot grind, but I actually worked for mine. I didn't like. I wasn't there for the gold title, but I do have both of the actual like blue titles.
Oh, you
I
have the
never
old
actually
ones?
went for a treasure item. No, I don't have the gold ones. I have the blue ones. So, but I actually grinded for it. I know people now can just buy the mana pot and you don't get a title for doing that. But
yeah. I also grinded for mine. Yep.
so, but like I've never actually grinded for a treasure piece. I mean, unless you count those, like I said, a lot of people discredit
Technically,
like mana pot HP.
they are, but the fact that they have pity, we don't really count them anymore. Because every treasure piece that we do count don't have pity.
Yeah,
I mean,
so I guess I've never actually done it before. So I would like to though. I don't know what I'll do first. I've been told like compass is cool.
Oh,
I'd like to
don't think you should do this.
I'd like to propose when Mega inevitably finishes Telescope. We were talking about doing a race to map.
I'm already halfway done.
If you wanted to. Okay, well you're cheating. You got to drop it again.
Well, how do you get? Like the thing is, I'm very like not. I don't know any of the grind spots.
Oh,
Or
it's
whatever.
super
Map is 2 pieces at Sulphur Mine and 2 pieces at Peliku Jail.
Yep.
Both of them have Dekia spots as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Azure just finished his map on his Iron Man.
We finished it?
Yeah, he finished it.
He got the last piece?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Congrats! I was watching the other day, and he was working on his last one.
Yeah, I believe he finished it. He got all of the pieces, all 4 pieces in 36 hours, I believe, which is crazy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he kind of got carried
that
on
was a short
that.
grind.
I mean, are the odds increased on Dekia? Like, are you kind of rewarded for doing it if you're just more geared?
I think they're
So
slightly
you can
worse,
grind
actually.
Faster. You can
Slightly
grind
worse.
Yeah.
That wouldn't
Dekia
make any sense.
faster, but the chances of getting it are lower than if you were to just do normal.
Yeah, it's
Silver
a
mine?
little, like a smidge lower, but you make way more money.
Yeah.
Why would they make it lower?
Well, it's not because they want to make it lower. I just think that you can't match the chances. Like, it's impossible. So, to make it not irrelevant, I think they just kind of made it around it. And the benefit is that you make money.
I think it probably it also is like a thing of how you look at Dekia versus how you look at normal grind spots. This spot is very Sulphur Mine is very heavy in movement if you're not doing Dekia, while Dekia is just a tower, right? So a lot of classes would prefer Dekia over the normal, while like for example, me, right, Zerker, I think it would be faster for me to grind normal.
Yeah, that's it.
I think they just wanted to give options for both.
When I say slightly, I mean like very, very minusculely lower.
Yeah, and especially
Okay, so
if
not
you're
like
overgeared
inting. Like if
and-
you're
No,
doing
no,
Dekia,
no,
you're not.
no.
Yeah,
You
you're
should be
not gonna
doing-
get the piece.
You should be doing Dekia, yes.
if you can do Dekia, yeah.
Okay.
What the?
You said 2 of the pieces drop there, so it's pretty valuable.
2 from each, yes.
Yeah, so there's 2 at each of the spots. While like telescope or what is it?
Compass is 3.
Compass drop like some spots only have 1, some spots have 2.
Mm-hmm. If I'm
Wait,
not
what do
mistaken,
you-
regular Sulphur Mine is a seasonal grind spot, right? Like you could
Yeah,
go there
you
on
can-
seasonal. Like, it's
Absolutely.
pretty-
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, my buddy has a piece of the map piece, and he was just grinding on seasonal.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
But-
for season grind too.
I mean, the map is also just a useful treasure to have, right? Just
It's really good.
You know,
Yeah.
every
What
what
does
is
it
it?
do?
Every 6 hours or every 8 hours, it's just a normal map. Like you just get to map to a town.
So it's a normal map. There's more to it. And you can reuse the map to teleport back to where you come from in like
what?
a 10-minute window.
Oh,
So like, let's say you're in like underwater Sakurai, one of the hardest ones, right? You can map out into Ilia Island and do whatever you gotta do, and then you can map back to Sakurai, right? In that 10-minute
Okay,
window.
so that's not the one that like you get your party. Like that's not
No,
a
that's
party
Compass.
TP. That's Compass.
The biggest thing with the map is that it does not share, and this is more of a recent thing, it does not share the cooldown of regular Traveler's Map. So what we call double mapping, where you can arc map out, it's called Archaeologist Map. You can arc map out to like Ilia, and then you can a regular map to Velia, and then you can use arc map back all the way back to Sakurai. A lot of people do this for fishing right now, because a lot of people are fishing like Hakoven, where people are arc mapping out of Hakoven to go to Arahaza, and then they regular map to Valencia. They Magnus all the way to Lenamore Light. They run there, teleport, or they teleport there, run to the trader, arc back to Hakoven.
Interesting.
Yep.
See, I can't really. I'm trying to think of like a way like I would ever really like utilize that because I already don't really use Traveler's Map. So I'm like, where would that tech apply to me? Like as a player right now, where I'm at right now, when would I ever use that? Because I see a lot of people using like CTG for like so many situations. Like I see like everyone's like, all right, guys, click the CTG for like Node War. I mean, even like situation where like the other day, like as a streamer, I'm getting jumped on Arsha. Everybody can just come straight to me if I wanted to for one big call. You know, I feel like that's a pretty dope thing. Yeah. Not to say that the mapping out isn't dope. Like that's super great for like any of the Valencia spots because those places suck.
Yeah.
You're like trapped out there.
Any place where you have to go out of the way, I think arc map's really useful.
Yeah.
And I think only with time, especially, it will get better used. Also, you get a title and you get a little furnished piece. That's part of it too. All of the furnished pieces do. The reason why we say map is the first one you should go for is because it is the easiest. The drop like hours you need for each piece is like roughly 50 hours. 50, 60 hours, while the other ones are like 200 hours per piece. So that's why arc map seems to be the most like used. So people do tend to go to that first. It's also the easiest to grind early on because Pilaku and Sulfur Mine is easy to grind.
Right.
What is it called? Compass. I don't know. People talk about Compass like, you know, like it's World War II. Like it is like bad. They're just like, yeah, Elton piece. Yeah, minus 800 hours of my life. And it's like, you know, I'll probably save it for last because I'm not gonna really use it. But it's like, dude, the idea that people are spending 4 times as long getting the Elton piece that Mega is getting the City piece is crazy. Like that's too long. 2,000 hours at a spot, 1,000 hours at a spot is too long.
Yeah, I have almost 3,000 hours in the game. I've never AFK'd, so all my hours were live. I could not imagine that much hours. Like all of my journeys, all of my experience, every AOS I've ever queued, everything I've ever done, sitting in one copium spot. I don't know. That just sounds like illness.
It is.
My bad. My bad.
I mean, but hear me out. In those 2,000 hours, you're making buku bucks, though.
The reason why I really enjoy treasure grinding is because one, I don't feel like I'm grinding for money. I'm grinding for a specific drop. So I don't like feel like I'm like burning myself out because of that. And when I get it, it's like a completion thing too. Because you get the furniture piece, and the second thing you get a title, right? And the fact that you can use it and the flex, it's kind of nice, right? It's a flex thing in the end, right? Ultimately, so that's like it's basically like a collector's item in the end.
I think as long as like a grind spot has really useful drops that I can jump for, if a treasure item's in the right spot, then I think that's fun. Like me when I went to Ash Forest, like everyone like said it's Ash Forest, like it's not fun. Like I was grinding there from my neck, and I ended up getting the ring, merchant ring piece.
Oh, there you go.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't there for merchant ring piece, but I know some people are. I was there for a different reason, but there's still a treasure item that I could potentially get. Like I find those grind spots really fun. So like I don't really know if City of the Dead has anything other like any in terms of value.
Yeah, limbos
or even sulfur. Like what is it? You said Dekia sulfur?
Yeah, so all the Dekia sulfur, all the compass pieces and the map pieces drop Dekia earring or Deborah earrings. And that's the big drop besides the treasure pieces.
You get like one every 7 or 8 hours.
Yeah, it is not the greatest for rates.
Not the greatest, but I mean, considering that like D2 Olins is the only actual earring spot, like I mean, I'll take it. Right?
Yeah, it's a low spot. Yeah. Well, now we have the new one, the Orzikia.
True. The one that requires 790 gear score.
Yeah, it's right there, man. Go grind at nighttime.
790 gear score already have pen earrings, but hey, I don't need to get into that.
I'm not gonna lie. After living at Crescent Shrine for a month, Man, that spot spoiled me so bad.
Oh my
That
god,
spot
true.
is
I loved it so much too.
good. But it's like,
That was
there's
my first
other
Dekia
things I
spot.
gotta go to. There's other things I gotta do. That spot was just it was love at first sight. And then they made the bomb. Oh, the bomb ruined it.
The bomb.
Oh, wait, you know the statue that used to give a DP up?
Yeah.
They changed it to giving an AP up. And if you let it go off, it explodes.
What?
It's a bomb.
Yeah, it
is.
it nukes.
It's a bomb.
So now you really have to prioritize the mechanic then.
Yes.
Yeah, because unironically, the DP up makes it like I get 2 tapped, and I'm at 413. Like, I die instantly if I don't break it. And then the actual explosion of the stat, it just 1 taps you. Like,
Right.
I just
Well,
die.
is that like an easy mistake? Like, or is it like, okay, just pay attention?
You gotta pay attention.
You have to pay attention. You have to pay attention, but it's like sometimes you're just vibing, right? And you'll go like you'll be grinding pack after pack, and then you won't realize that it spawned behind you like 20 seconds ago, and then you
Right.
just see a purple thing on the floor, and you're like, oh, my bad. It also just made it so that it's a lot harder for people to get into, because if you mess up bad, and you lose crystals like quite often there. I mean,
And
like
nobody
even
wants to
people
lose crystal right now too, because like it's so hard to get like look at corrupteds, dude. They're fucking.
Bro,
Sorry, excuse me. They are corrupteds are just like unobtainable basically. Like it feels like.
Yeah.
I have a whole story with corrupt.
It's hard.
I tell this story all the
Dude.
time. It's the funniest thing in my opinion. So corrupteds are only really obtainable at Star's End, and Star's End, we all know Star's End for distos. You used to cheer for clear blacks, the clear stones that was made to to make the corrupteds, and you cheer for distos. People would get mad that you cheer for the clear stones, so they'd remove the cheer for that. And now distos are the only thing you cheer for there, but the distos are worth less now because no one wants to grind for distos. So the thing you want is the thing you don't cheer for, and the one thing you don't want is the thing you cheer for. I think it's so funny.
Oh, dude. Can we add cheering for mass back?
I'm good, man. I died so many times from cheering for mess. I don't want
Hey, I'm not gonna lie though. I'm getting like I never thought that I would get to the point where I'm actually low on mass.
What?
But after clicking Black Star, no, like hear me out though. After clicking Black Star, dude, I burned through so much mass. And I have like almost none now.
You guys
now,
want
you
to
guys are
know?
probably like, well, how's that possible? You have to remember, I'm the middle child.
Yes.
Anyone that's in my position and like started video where I came from, I skipped so much of the grind spots that actually provided a lot of mass,
Dude,
which are a lot
no
of like that early
spot
game.
drop it.
No spots drop it. So like for me, you guys that have been playing video for a while that had to grind like a lot of centaurs, had to grind a lot of like those early spots. You have probably so endless amount of masses that you don't have to worry
You
about.
want to know how much
For
mass
me,
I have?
I'm sure it's crazy. But
Yeah,
for me,
want to
like,
take a
if
guess?
I'm in mass, I probably only have 20.
30K.
Okay, 30k is ridiculous. No, I have 29k. Or 2.9k, sorry.
Yeah, see, that's crazy to me because like I said, I'm the middle child of BDO. I don't have them because all the grind spots I went to didn't have them. And I also one tapped all of my debos. So I'm straying further and further and further away from being in spots where masses are obtainable.
Wait, one
So-
tap all of your. How many pen devos do you have?
Well, I've never tapped for pen. I one tapped
Oh.
all my tet. I tapped 4
Oh,
tet
okay.
debos, one tapped them all.
Okay. I was.
In a matter of 2 weeks, by the way. I like, okay, so I have less than like 20 hours in every grind spot for the neck, ring, everything. Like I'm like actually gear carried. Like I have less than 20 hours in all those spots. I was at Crypt for the first time for like 3 days. Never been back.
Okay.
When I returned to the game, I returned like last November, December, something like
They're gonna say
that.
last night.
Yeah, nah, I'm back. Mega, I was like, where do I even grind? Like, what's good? Whatever. He sent me to Honglim, and in 2 weeks, I think I did 55 hours of Honglim. I got all my Karazads, and then I was like, man, that felt miserable. Like that wasn't that fun. And then he's like, oh yeah, you could have just tapped Debo.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, I probably should have done that.
Everyone's been telling me like, yo, Yeti, like right now it's way cheaper to just tap Blackstar. Like even like I'm talking with CJ and he's like it's way cheaper to just tap Blackstar. Just do that. And I'm like, well, I feel like that's advice. Like that, like realistically, you look at the numbers, it makes sense. But I look at my my masses, and I'm like, I actually don't have enough masses to click Blackstar. And I don't want to go grind in areas where to farm masses.
I'm going to interrupt a little bit here. We have 4 minutes left of the hour. Just make sure if you are going to do an hour after this, make sure, or if you're not going to do an hour after this, make sure you turn off your continuous care and your Veil's Heart, or your Alchemy Stone. Make a little PSA.
So, sorry, am I good?
Yeah.
Continue? Yeah. Okay. So, like, with masses, like, it's like, I don't know. Like, I would like to keep clicking it. Well, like, the thing is like, I know that buying a Black Star is probably, like, in terms of, like, investment, because, like, you're still gambling in the day, right? So it's like, you could end up going over the cap of how much a Black Star is worth. But in terms of building fail stacks at the same time, like, you're building really good fail stacks for your future. Like, I used to never have, like, any fail stacks. I've actually never built a fail stack. Like, I've never, like, clicked something to build a fail stack. And I know that probably sounds crazy to a lot of players, because a lot of veteran players before me did that all the time. As the middle child, guess what? I started playing BDO, and they're like, here's a 100 stack. Here's a 150 stack. Here's a 200. Like, they gave me all these really high stacks. So I've never had to do it. But since I started clicking my Black Star, I actually have, like, really high stacks. I have, like, 250. I have a 300. Like, I got multiple things. So in terms of, like, fails, like, building, like, really high fail stacks, it's kind of great. It's kind of actually pretty worth clicking a Black Star now. To get my next sovereign weapon, because I would get those fail stacks.
If you didn't know, you can actually convert hunter seals into mass. There was a more recent patch they did, like last a month or two.
Oh, that's huge.
Yeah,
because I definitely need masses. Like I would click Black
really
Star
good.
again.
Yeah.
I would buy another Black Star today, and I would start my clicking journey to get my to actually get my sovereign. Ooh, I got an ancient spirit. Like, nice. To actually start clicking it, but, like, I don't want to have to be like, okay, I got to go to Centaurs for masses. Like, that makes that changes everything.
It's 5 seals
for 70 hours.
It's 5 seals for 10 mass, which is a really good conversion rate.
Oh, that is really good conversion.
Wait, 5 seals? I just checked. I thought it was 3.
No, I just checked. 5 hunter
5
seals for 10 mass.
Ah.
Yeah, check your hunter seals.
Oh,
See,
I
like, I think that's great.
Going.
Oh, yeah, that's different.
How do you get hunter seals?
Bosses. Like world bosses and dark rifts. Yeah.
Like dark rifts?
You should get from dark rifts, yeah. But world bosses also.
Oh, this is the, you know what? This is the PSA. I gotta say it. It's my slogan now. Do your potion weeklies, even if you have your weeklies done. You get 30 bill in 20 weeks. Listen.
Nope.
Wait, what?
You get 30 billion in 20 weeks.
That
comes out to 1.5 bill a week.
Oh, wait, why? How do you?
He basically,
how does that convert to money? Like,
he's selling.
If you do all of your pities or the weeklies for your potions, you convert them into the full potion, and then you sell them. You make 30 bill in 20 weeks. Because it takes 20 weeks to get a full potion, and then you sell both the potions, one for 13, one for 17. It's worth it. It's worth it.
Okay.
I swear.
Or I can
Also,
do the 6
you guys
hours
completely
at
fixed my mass problem, by the way. You guys cured it.
I got you.
I have 1,000 now. We're clicking.
Yeah, I got you.
Thanks, man. I literally had 10. I had 10 left, and now I can click Black Star.
Yeah, that's why you come into the podcast to learn knowledge from us.
That's why, hey, you learn something at the podcast,
Yes,
baby. If you guys aren't tuned in, dude, you just wasted silver.
That's true. That's true. We're actually about to end our hour here, our second hour here. That's what you want to say, Ethan?
I was gonna say I don't know how it is from a viewer's perspective. You know, I've been the co-host podcast for God knows how long. But this is just like, it is such a vibe to just kind of talk, not to chat, but at chat. You know, or at the viewer, and just be like, yeah, this is how I feel about the game. You know, and they can't respond. They just get to soak it in.
The show,
Or I'm-
basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I kind of like consistently ignore chat. Kind of always talking chat.
Oh, that's crazy.
That's insane. Yeah, that's great.
You hear it, folks.
Really?
You heard it first. Oh lord.
Splendid check. Oh, no splendid. I haven't had my Veldheart on this entire time.
Oh my god. We have a buff list for a reason, man.
Sorry, I thought I automatically had it on. I was doing hours before this, but I guess I turned it off.
That's actually crazy.
It doesn't matter.
My hour is over.
I had a crazy hour
I have 8 minutes.
or crazy hours. I got 4. I averaged 4 embers an hour.
I get the most average 2 hours a city ever.
Oh,
I wanna
0
die.
hungers. I'm guessing.
No hungers. I killed my horse by accident.
Okay. Gulp.
Gulp.
I'm actually having a pretty good time. I got an Ancient Spirit Light, which I kind of hate that the Ancient Spirit Light's only like 5 hours, by the way. I hate that because it's like, okay, I just finished my grind and now I'm like, man, I have to grind another hour today at some point.
Dude, I didn't know this. Highlands drops 0 Caphras.
Dust, though, right?
Yeah.
It drops dust. It just
Yeah.
drops 0 Caphras.
Yeah, that's what same spot. All the Ulick spots don't draw Kefros. Except daily
That's-
scores.
That's crazy.
You know, this is actually a side comment, but somebody told me that the XP farm at Honglum is actually kind of nasty. Is that true? Like, if you're fully buffed up, like it's actually good.
It's not
It's not-
nasty.
It's not bad, but it's like if you're there, yeah, I'd say if you have buffs to pop, you can pop it. I think I'm 64. I think I average a little over 0.5% an hour.
Right. Oh, I don't want to say like nasty for like new veteran players. I'm talking about from a new players perspective. If they're trying
yeah,
if
yeah.
someone's grinding to get to 62 or 63,
Oh, absolutely.
Honglum's XP is juicy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, no, it's crazy. Even at level 64, it only takes what? That's only 40 hours.
Yeah, because when I was that level, I was
200
always
hours,
told that
I'm
like
fine.
you got to get to the 291 bracket to go to lower Gyphins, and that's where you're really going to start shooting up in your XP. Like that was real, or trees. Those are like the only two like XP places for me. But ever since
should
Honglum
also be
came out,
orcs,
it
too.
seems like
Orcs is also really good.
yeah, Orcs isn't bad either.
I think Orcs
But,
and
like,
Honglum have
now-
like similar XP gains.
Dokkaebi is also not bad.
Yeah, Dokkaebi's pretty good, yeah. I got 65 there.
Yeah, people have been using Dokkaebi as like a I'm grinding Dawns, you want to get power level thing.
Mhm.
But my hour was crazy. That was bananas.
I think I'm approaching 540 hours for a city. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm approaching 8 hours at Highlands.
I
Look it
definitely got carried here for both hours at Trolls. The
Another
average
carried
amount
hour.
of despairs that you get is 12, and the last hour I got 18, and I'm already at 12, and I have 6 minutes left.
Dang.
So the income is going to be great because it's for 12 of them you get like this is why I think Trolls is one of the best spots in the game. Chat. If you guys are
It's
grinding,
awesome.
if you guys are in chat right now and you're like, man, I'm tired of Honglum, I'm tired of Tungrad, and you just want a place that's consistent money. This place is the average amount of money that you farm here is guaranteed $1 billion. The average trash is like 9.7k trash, and that's like 1.1 bill. And then if you just get the average of despairs, which is 12, that's an extra 464 million. So you are almost guaranteeing make 1.5 bill at a really easy spot, like even like low caps and requirements. And if you get carried, you're making almost 200 or not 200 bill, but 2 bill an hour, which is huge.
Oh, I got a limbo that hour as well.
Dang, you guys are carried.
Wait, you're actually carried.
Wait, maybe
Yeah, and you can also get limbos here at Trolls too, which is what makes it huge.
Okay, you guys are gonna flame me for this. I
Oh,
have
boy.
done 4 hours today. I've dropped 3 limbos in those 4 hours.
What the heck?
That's huge. You know, wait, where are you grinding? Because that sounds like my time at Crescent Shrine.
Highlands.
Highlands, I hate that place. I'll never go back. Actually, I probably went on Mystic, but I hate it on every other class I've played.
Dude, I don't know. When I was initially told to go here, I died and I lost like 2 billion crystals, and I was sad.
Same.
And
they were like
now,
I was there for that. I was there for that, Yeti. When you
told me to come here.
No, not you, Ethan. Yeti.
Oh,
yeah, he's there for mine because you know who always tells me to go to places? Neon.
Because I told you. Because you were working for a booth, and I told you should just go to Dark Seekers. I know people are bashing on it, but honestly, not that bad. It's way easier. And you're like, yeah, but Chad's telling me to go to Highlands. I'm going to Highlands. Okay.
Yeah, well, the amount of crystals that I've lost in this game have been purely because of Neon. Because Neon tells me everywhere to go, and Neon's always like, Yeti, you never listen to me. I'm like, well, the reason why I don't is because I'm dead half the time. He's like the other day, he said, Yeti, you can easily go to Tungrad. I was at Tungrad when I was like 315, and I go to Tungrad, and I'm like twice under the average. I'm like, dude, this was a waste of my time. This place was terrible. It's not for me. And then when I did Highlands, I lost that was when I first bought my first decimation crystal. Like I just bought decimations, and then I died and lost the decimation I just bought. I just spent a bill, and now I'm in a grind spot that I literally am dying at to replace the bill that I just invested. It was a waste of time. It was so bad. I hate that place. I also hate Neon, but that's
the point.
I mean, unironically, I would say check out Highlands. It's pretty. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty cracked.
Yo,
dude, I have done 8 hours, and I'm 1/4 of the way. I am at 24 embers in 8 hours. That's 3 an hour. That's crazy.
But here's the thing about Highlands, though. Highlands is so class specific. Like it is probably one of the most
That's
true. It is probably one of the only grind spots in the game, in my opinion, that heavily is actually class. Like you have to play like a class that's good there, or you are wasting your time. And that sucks to say, because I'm a big advocate for play what you want, where you want. But dude, being a Kuno there, and I'm sure Blank experiences as a ninja, it is so bad. It is so bad.
It's not bad.
I had to tag Archer as a Kuno, or play Mystic, because Kuno was so terrible.
I think range
I hated it.
classes like Witch is really good because of the fact that you can do the range leg tech, where if you are if you're further away from it, and the other leg swipes at you, you can still hit the red leg, and that's really, really strong.
Yeah. For me, it was just like, I don't know, this just depends on the class, right? Like, just if you don't have good AoE, like, I'm sure, like, Suck Ranger's terrible there, right? Archer's amazing. But, like, I don't know, as a Kuno, it was just so bad. It was probably the worst grind experience that I've ever had.
Wait, is it Trial of Etheria that I need to go to?
Yeah.
Okay.
How's your hour?
I just got handed all the seals, and he doesn't even know where he's going.
Sorry. Wait, who's out?
Yetis?
Yeah, I have 1 minute left. It is looking pretty good though.
Nice.
I just said like a minute ago that like I was already at the average for the despairs, and I think I'm above now. I'm at 13. I should be able to get one more off of this dude here. But we are looking pretty good. I got 1 minute left. Just gonna kill this last boss, and that wraps this up for me.
Just a question about trolls. Do you know about the optimal troll rotations? Like there was a video that was going over, there's a bunch of troll packs, and depending on the troll pack will determine the amount of the small mobs that spawn.
Yeah.
There are some packs that just spawn less mobs, meaning if you do those packs, it's just less money per hour.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was insane. Like,
yes, so there is a double pull thing that you can do at trolls. I don't do double pull. I easily could with the classes that I play, because it's kind of a tempo thing. If you go too slow, the mobs will actually just run back to where they were, and you kind of have to be there in time, or you're kind of trolling. It's like really bad. It is kind of like a little tough to kind of get in the rhythm of it, but like once you do, it's very easy. But yeah, I think the average people make if they do double pull is like 12,000 trash. But if you do single pull, it's like 9,000. So it is pretty notable. I've never done it, but I would.
I think Trolls is so
But
fun.
I've kind of got the because of the what?
The tech, the full tech.
Yes.
That's crazy.
So like this hour, I actually pulled 11k trash on single pull.
Dang,
Daggers.
trash is so
Not bad,
nice.
not bad.
Not bad, not bad.
I have yet to go to Trolls. I want to try it. I just don't know how well Zerker is gonna do there.
Zerker's good everywhere. Hello.
Okay. Unironically,
Like I don't think I've ever heard of
I
Zerker
think-
say,
I
"Can I,
think
go
Zerker
do
is
this?
good
Like,
now.
is this content I can enjoy?" Like, bro, come on, pick up your axes and get out there.
no. Unironically, Zerker's PVE sucked ass until like 3 patches ago. It was so bad. It was so bad.
I'm glad we had a really good hour. I had a good time. These last 2 hours was a really good time.
That was
Yeah.
dope.
Yeah, it was awesome. Thank you so much for
I'm
being
excited.
being the guest today, Yeti.
Yeah, man, I had a great time. I mean, you know me. I'm literally yapping all the time, and
Yeah. You're
this is
kinda
actually
perfect
the
for
first
this.
time I've had the I'm perfect for this.
Yeah, I think you're kind of perfect for this. You know, like a little yap
Thanks,
session.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little yap session, dude. Here's the thing. I stream for like 10. I've been streaming for like 10, like even some days 14 hours. And I still sound the same like as I started to the end. Like I'm like nonstop talking for the entire time. And like this was the first time that I've had the opportunity to be on like on a podcast, like in the video community, and it's super fun. It's super dope. I love talking about these topics because most of the topics that I'm talking about on stream is everyone calling me dented. So it's really nice to talk about something different other than me being LV Dent. So really great experience to talk about the game that we're playing. So
Yeah, no, it really like keeps us on the topic, and also one, it does that. 2, it lets us grind, and it lets us kind of progress in a gear while doing it. And 3, it's like really nice content for a lot of people because we are just focused on one, or not one topic, but like about the game, and we get to express our thoughts and opinions on it. I think it's really awesome, and we have guests like you, so it's something we want to
appreciate
provide.
you having me, man.
Yeah, of course, man. Anytime. If you want to be back on, let us know. We can make something happen.
I do want to say, I don't know who it is. You know who you are out there. Somebody came up to Mega in open world and was like, "You are the guy that does the BDO podcast."
Yeah, that's true. That did happen.
And
It was off
that
stream.
was crazy. That was surreal.
It wasn't off stream. It was
That
on
made
stream.
me, like, it was on stream?
It was on stream.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane.
Yeah, there's so many people out there who do different things, and I look at my YouTube, and I'm like, okay, I mean, they ain't the most popping videos, but I'm glad to provide content for the people who do actually watch it. Hey, you know what? Exclamation mark Grindcast. Go watch the. Oh, that's not how you spell it. That's not how you spell it either. Hold on. Go check it out, please. I appreciate it so much. I upload all in there. Episodes 1 through 5 should already be uploaded, and give it a like, give it support, give it a comment. Exclamation mark Discord to join my Discord, and you can ask questions at the Garmoth Grindcast channel, and we will answer questions in future episodes down there too. So please join for that. You can also check the schedules there. I post my schedule every week, and the Grindcast schedule will also be there every week. Again, I appreciate Yeti for being the guest appearance once again, and thank you for my co-host too. And this has been episode 6 of the Garmoth Grindcast, and we'll see you next week, fellas. Bye-bye.
Thanks for having me, man.
No problem. Have a good day, guys.
Oh, sevens.
07s.